Welcome to another episode of the panel. Right from the top, Kawhi Leonard will not, I repeat, Kawhi Leonard will not be playing in the All-Star in the USA Olympics. Might not be playing in the All-Star game either, but he's definitely not playing in the USA Olympics. He's just been withdrawn. An update directly from USA Basketball. 2024 USA Basketball men's national teams update on Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi has been ramping up for the Olympics over the past several weeks and had a few strong practices in Las Vegas. He felt ready to compete. However, he respects the USA Basketball, and the Clippers determined it's in their best interest to spend the remainder of the summer preparing for the upcoming season rather than participating in the Olympic Games in Paris. Now you know, breaking news, Kawhi Leonard will not be playing in the Olympics. Fellas, talk to me about this. What does this mean for Team USA and Kawhi?
So it sounds like it's not his call. It sounds like he wants to play, but it sounds like the Clippers are the ones that are holding him out, which, I mean, we've seen this movie before with Kawhi Leonard. I'm on record saying that I don't think he's going to be in the league in 2 years because I don't think his body's going to hold up. Off the strength of what they've – and despite everything that they've done, this is still going on. This, I don't think, is an injury issue. This is more of a precaution, but they've done this – the Clippers have done this in the past where they've done everything that they possibly can to keep Kawhi Leonard on the floor only to have him break down because the injury that he has – you can't get around it. This isn't an elbow that you can ice. This isn't a broken bone that heals. No, this is something that's degenerative, that's going to continue to degenerate. So no matter how many games you hold him out, no matter how much you try to manage him, eventually he's going to break down. And the Clippers, all they're doing is delaying the inevitable because the issue that he has, there's really nothing that you can do about it. Now, I understand that with Team USA, this would have been a big deal for him, but I don't think that this hampers them as much because if you think about it, I mean, how much was he really going to play for Team USA? I thought he was going to play. I'm not going to say that he wasn't going to play, Ron, because I'm pretty confident that he was going to play. But how much was he really going to play for them? One, he wasn't going to start. He probably would have been their second or third rotation guy just off of health alone. So with that being said, all the Clippers are doing is just delaying the inevitable, which is what they did 2 years ago when they managed him and he ended up missing the playoffs against Phoenix. And then the same thing happened this season, last summer, where he had himself in great shape, only to break down again in the playoffs. So this is just something that's just going to be reoccurring. And I don't think that anything changes with Kawhi Leonard. But I also don't think that anything changes with the U.S. Olympic team. I think that they have enough time that they can replace him, and this won't be that big of a deal.
Does anybody else think this is major?
Yes, I think this is major. Yeah, maybe not for the ramifications of are USA going to win the gold. I don't think it affects that. But reading the statement and listening to you read it, he respects that USA Basketball and the Clippers determined it's in his best interest to spend the remainder of the summer preparing for the upcoming season. That sounds, and this is just all projection, that Team USA don't feel he can go either. It seems like they probably communicated with the Clippers about what they're seeing, and they probably come to a mutual agreement that it's probably best for everyone involved, Kawhi, Team USA, and the Clippers, if Kawhi doesn't play. And if that's the case, we're about 4 months removed from when he was hurt in the regular season, then he tried to play in the playoffs, and that didn't work.
I think it was April. The playoffs started in the middle of April, and he wasn't able to play. So,
but he didn't play to end the regular season too. So he was out for a little while before that. So it's been like 4 or so months, and if he's still not seen as someone who can play right now, I think we are getting to a point where, unfortunately, I just don't think his body can handle not only an NBA season but just basketball in general. And it's unfortunate because Kawhi is like clearly one of the best players to ever play the game when he's right. But if he can be in USA training camp for 4 days and they see, oh, this guy, he can't go, or he can't play in the playoffs after rehabbing for a month and they're trying to rest him up and he plays 2 games, he can't go. I think we're entering a territory we've seen with all these all-time great trajectories who get derailed by injuries. It's like we see what they can be when they're out there, but they just can't be out there. And I think that's what makes it a big deal. Not that USA aren't going to win gold, but that Kawhi maybe just really just can't play. And like all the time, it's he's load managing, he's soft. Everything he says, everything the Clippers say, everything anyone says is he wants to be out there. He loves to play. His body just doesn't allow him to. And I think that's what the big deal is, that Kawhi just genuinely can't play. I think that's
Mars, why is it that every year there's the same story? And I'm gonna let you go, Damo, because I don't want to take up any of your time. But why is it that every year people think this narrative is going to change? Okay, we got another summer of Kawhi Leonard. Okay, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be in great shape. When has Kawhi Leonard come into camp not looking fantastic? When has that ever happened?
He's always in shape, like physically. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. I mean physically. When is he coming to camp not looking great? I don't think that's the problem. The problem isn't him not being in shape. The problem is that the issue that he has with his knees, it's not going away.
So that means I don't want to hear that he was pretending because he played 65 games this year. It's clear his body can't do what we want NBA players to be able to do. He can't do it. He spoke about it. He said it's unfortunate. He wants to be out there. We're at a point like he can't do it. Like we can hope Kawhi healthy in the postseason. We know how good he is. We're getting to a point where you might just have to rest him for a whole regular season and try and get to the playoffs without him, and just hope he can play in the postseason. He can't play. He just can't. He's trying. He can't.
Damo, how long does it take for you to see a guy and go, yo, he can't do it? He doesn't have it anymore. I mean, how long does it take you to see that?
When it becomes the normal. When that becomes the normal trend and it becomes the normal thing, I feel like that's when you go about it. With Kawhi Leonard, with Mark, sadly, his body just can't go. And I was thinking about this when I seen they announced the roster and I seen him and Embiid on it. I'm like, how long are they about to last on this roster? Because these two dudes are constantly injured. I don't know why they would even accept the play. Personally, when they first announced these rosters, my first thought is, why is Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid playing? You guys couldn't finish your season. That didn't make sense to me. And it's no knock on them. It's just genuinely their bodies break down. So if you're coming off a season where your body just broke down, either y'all were hurt in the playoffs and it was noticeable, or you couldn't finish for your team in the playoffs. Now you're going to go and compete on the Olympic stage, on the world stage. I didn't see it happening. So I'm glad that nothing catastrophic had to happen for him to be removed from the roster. They seen a couple of days of training and realized, hey man, it ain't gonna go. I missed the statement, so I wasn't sure what exactly was said. I'll go and read that and see what the team says. But if
less than a week, Damo, less than a week, like we
didn't
get a week.
How long ago was the season? The season was a month ago. The playoffs ended a month ago. The Clippers got put out probably a month and a half ago, if that.
They
but
lost.
Kawhi was injured.
The end of April. Yeah,
Kawhi was injured. I'm not gonna lie. With this being given another couple of days, you about to see a report from Shams or Woj, 76ers, bring back Joel Embiid. He got to be replaced because after seeing Kawhi go through this, why would you allow your asset to potentially get hurt when he was injured in the playoffs? He was playing while hurt. So why are we allowing our asset to do this? If the Clippers can asset manage, why will we not asset manage? Let's go. Hey, the Clippers of the West, let's let the Clippers of the East do the same thing. That's what I'm expecting. I think Joel Embiid's going to get pulled too.
And by the way, KD ain't playing in the exhibition game because of a strained calf. And you guys know how I feel about that. So, and I got roasted from you dudes when I talked about these older dudes getting on the roster. I told y'all about that. I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. These dudes are breaking down. And this thing with KD, this is not load managing. This isn't. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying the idea that they're holding him out as a precaution. No, they're not. They are not holding him out as a precaution. This is a problem. And they're trying to get in front of it and stay in front of this. This is not a lot worse, but this is a problem. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about actually building a national team with young guys, as opposed to throwing these guys together and getting old guys and broken guys on the roster. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yo, Big Ox. Tap in, my man. How do you feel about? I know you're a big Kawhi guy, major fan. How do you feel about him not being able to participate in the Olympics?
Ron, I just need a moment, Ron. I don't.
Ox,
No,
you
Ron,
had to have seen this coming, though, Ox. Like you had to.
Okay, I know, shit. I mean, you know, I've been saying there was no reason for LeBron, KD, Kawhi, but this is a seriously sad. I'm really upset for it right now. I hate to see this, man, because it's just like you know it's almost over. You know it's almost over. So that's why I said yesterday, like that's why I chose Kawhi when you asked who's the happiest to be here. I think it was a question, right?
Yeah.
That's why I said Kawhi, man, because you know it's coming to an end.
Excuse me.
But I mean, I think we've been through this since last season, though. Before even this season, like Kawhi's about at the finish line. I hate to see it like this, but I think it's smart for the Clippers to not want him to play. And I agree with Damo. Like, man, they might want to bring Joel out of there. This calf strain with KD. I mean, we've seen this before with KD, and we know how that ended. And I just don't want to see anybody get hurt playing in the Olympics, bro. So, man,
not that the Olympics lessen it. I mean, not that the Olympics are less than, because the Olympics it's a pretty big deal.
The Olympics are 100% less than, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not preserving myself during the NBA season to be ready for the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? But the other way around is true. Like I'll miss the Olympics to be ready for the NBA season.
I think
in my opinion, the NBA season is way more important than the Olympics. But that's just my opinion, though.
Sure, I can get with that. And remember, too, Ox, we talking about Americans. Like these international players, this is what they've been gearing up for. Like Giannis actually got emotional when Greece qualified for the Olympics. He was in tears because that's how big a deal it is to play in the Olympics for these international players. That's how big a deal it is. Now, I can appreciate your logic about the NBA season. This is where my bread is buttered. You know, I just signed a contract extension for $153 million for 3 years, which I thought was a mistake by the Clippers. But they're opening up a new arena. And who are we introducing in this new arena? Russell Westbrook, Zubac, and Terrence Mann? Yeah, not so much. That's really not something that we're going to be able to sell tickets on the Monica for, right? So with that being said, I understand from a business aspect. But internationally, the Olympics are a big deal, are a huge deal. So for these guys to not play in the Olympics, it might not be a big deal to Americans, but to these international players, it's astronomical.
All I know is
it is, but I mean,
I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, but I know Paul George. I know he's looking at the Clippers and just the whole situation like ha ha ha.
Why would he do that, Ron? He in the same situation in Philly.
I'm about to say he can't say how for long.
It's not like
he hasn't got injured.
It's not like PG's been the most healthiest, bro.
Like, no, I get that, but he's not injured right now. And on top of that, this is the reason why I'm saying that, because the Clippers chose to pay him the money and let him walk.
I would rather have a hurt
They didn't
choose
to pay him the money and let him walk. That's not what happened.
The Clippers gave him. I heard what Paul George said. Yeah, I heard they offered him $260 at the start of the year. He felt that was disrespectful. Then he said, "Give me what Kawhi got, 3 years, $150." Then they give him what Kawhi got, and he said, "Nah."
Well, they gave it to him.
Yes.
His
words
give me another.
Yeah.
Those words came out his mouth.
Yeah, his words were 2 years, 60 was disrespectful. So we were too far apart. But then we got around, I can't remember what part of the season it was, maybe like February, March. He said, "Give me what Kawhi got." They then give him what Kawhi got, and he was like, "Nah, want a no trade clause now." They said no, and all of a sudden it's, well, then give me 4 years, $212 million.
No.
They said no, and then he goes to Philly. They gave him what he wanted, and he changed what he wanted after they gave him what he wanted.
Right.
First of all,
wait. Hold on.
Like that, Ron.
Wait, hold on. Like I gotta add. We gotta add something too. It's not just he asked for no trade clause. They said no. He asked for no trade clause. They say no, and he's like, "All right, bet. Cut the negotiation. Let's just finish the season because I'm getting pissed off." He finishes the year, most games played, He finishes the year in what he, in his words, the most efficient year he had. So he finished healthy and he finished with the best efficiency he's had in a minute or as a Clipper or whatever it is. Then he asks for 4 years, 212. It's not just, oh, no trade clause, bet F y'all. Give me 4 years, 212. He finishes out the season in better expectations than Kawhi. He finished out better than Kawhi, so now he doesn't feel they're on the same level. So then he asks for more money. It was still dumb, though. Just had to add the context.
Okay. Yeah, but he, still. Never mind. I don't got the words. That just upset me. I'm really upset right now.
See what you did, Ron? You done got my boy blood pressure up. See what you done did, Ron?
It ain't even that.
I didn't get his blood pressure up. I didn't tell Kawhi to sit down.
But I mean, damn, it's just sad. It's sad. But I think it's the right thing to do though. Like I think for the Clippers, this is 100. Like Damo said, he should never been there. You know what I'm saying? Like why? What are you even doing here, Kawhi? You know what I'm saying? Like same for Joel. I know I just said that
for multiple reasons. But go ahead.
There's a big reason why Joel shouldn't be there, but then there's also the injury thing as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to see nobody get hurt playing in the Olympics, man. That'd be terrible.
We've seen Kawhi Leonard over the years continuously break down, and I think a lot of these dudes, when we hear their names, it automatically gives you. It's a big deal when we hear their names. So when you hear Kawhi Leonard on the Olympic team, automatically it's like, all right, they're gonna be nice. Completely forgetting who Kawhi Leonard is. Completely forgetting the amount of miles he has on him. Completely forgetting how much he's broken down over the years. But he's on a crew with James. He's on a crew with KD. He's on a crew with Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, and all of these guys. So this is gonna be great. Completely leaving out that Leonard is broken. He's been broken for years. And these guys aren't going to change that. None of these guys in the Olympic team are going to change that. And to Damo's point, it doesn't take long to be in practice and recognize he can't go. He can't go. So how about we shelve this right now before this gets any further, or before the Olympics even start, and turns out he ends up tearing up his knee again, and now we got nothing. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But I think that he's broken. I'd be surprised if I'd be surprised in 2 years if Leonard is still in the league. I would be.
Ron, can you get into that super chat?
So MP13 just sent through a super chat. He said, I'd ask for 4 years for 212 million too. If the last 3 years my superior teammate plays 4 games in a postseason and I get trashed when I'm forced into the first option position when I'm supposed to be in, when I'm not supposed to be in.
If you ask for $53 million per year, then why is it a problem for you to be a first option? You talking about when I have to be a first option, which I'm not supposed to be, but you want to get $53 million a year? Nah. Also, I need a better series against the Clippers against the Mavericks.
Also, to throw on top of that, the NBA is a business. I understand you're looking at it from the standpoint of, in the playoffs, Kawhi's not there. Since they've been on the Clippers, do y'all know who's played more games in the regular season between those two?
Paul George?
No, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard just played
Paul
more
George
regular
missed
season games.
He missed the whole postseason too, right?
Yeah,
last year.
I want to say
last year
they both missed postseason.
Well, no, I'm saying no. But I'm saying he can't. From the super chat, he can't just say, Kawhi's only played 4 postseasons when you missed the whole run. Yes, Kawhi got injured on that run too, but you weren't.
At least Kawhi played, and that's why when you said what you said, Ron, that's why that upset me. Like, why would PG be like, like he's done something? He hasn't. The one time when Kawhi did test ACL, that time he did keep him afloat and got him to the Western Conference Finals. Was it
21? Yep.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, like that's true, but you can't just live off of that. It's 2025 now. Like, move on from that. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason that Paul George should feel like he's anywhere superior to Kawhi, or that he did anything more than Kawhi did for the Clippers. Not at all.
Yeah, fellas, this is definitely it's just sad in information.
Where does this
just with Kawhi?
Okay,
what's up, Joe?
Real quick, Ron. So where does this leave the Clippers now? Right, because I understand that, he's going to be working out this summer to get ready for the season. Well, in terms of him working out for the summer, what exactly is he going to do? Because it's not like he's rehabbing, or it's not like he's, coming off a ACL tear or something like that. This is a degenerative issue. So what exactly, how are the Clippers managing him any different now than they did a year ago or 2 years ago? What are they doing? And what does this mean for the Clippers, who, by the way, already lost Paul George? You've decided to put Russ on the trading block, and Joker already asked for him. So now that leaves you with Norman Powell, because you're probably going to move on from Russ before the season ends. So now that leaves you with Leonard, James Harden, Norman Powell, Zubac, Terrence Mann, and guys like that on the crew. So where does this leave the Clippers? Because we already know who Leonard is. We already know who he is in terms of a player. We already know who he is in terms of help. What does this mean for the Clippers? Because it's inevitable.
2019 James Harden is coming back. That's what that means.
Nah, man. Unleashing Bones Island. That's what's about to happen. Bones about to get unleashed. And the redemption arc for KPJ, man. Y'all not ready for it.
Well,
no. They paid him like it. I don't know what to tell you. He gonna play.
100% they did. Yes. I mean, sure, Mark.
James Harden is coming back.
We would love to see 2019 James Harden. I don't know how realistic that is, Mars, but we would love to see. I mean, I think James Harden, if I'm not mistaken, I think he turns 35 on opening night. By opening night, I think he'll be 35 or 34. 34. I'm sorry, I don't think he's that old. I don't think he's that old just yet. But with that being said, yep.
Can we get to the skinny of the whole situation? Can we just cut the shit and get directly to it? The Clippers are fucked. Okay, it's over. If Kawhi, not even if, the writing's on the wall. Kawhi's not going to make it 3 years. James Harden it might be the beginning of the end, and it might be the end of the end. After that, what left do they have? They're moving into this new stadium. Chill, you just said we can't move into this new stadium with who? Zubac, Russ, and Bones Highland?
Terrence Mann.
Terrence Mann. Well, they got Terrence Mann. They got Bones Highland. They got Kevin Porter Jr. now. And James Harden, they might get a year of James Harden. Maybe 2. They're basically moving into the new stadium with that situation, Chill. I don't know what their draft situation looks like, but
OKC have their picks.
Yeah, it's going to be the Clippers are – it might look like the 2000s for the Clippers again.
Mars.
Y'all trying to act like Kawhi's dead or something.
That's not the point, Ox. No,
that is the point. Y'all trying to act like Kawhi's dead like he just didn't play 65.
And then
by playoff time, he might as well be dead. Nigga not there.
We've seen this movie before, Ox. That's the problem. And I know that that's your guy. I 100% know that that's your guy. I'm a Leonard fan. I got a Leonard jersey. I'm a Leonard fan too. But I can't escape the facts here. And the fact is over the last 4 seasons, for the last 5 seasons, he's gotten tripped up at the 80-yard line.
Man, y'all celebrate my man demise, man.
No, this is not a celebration.
Kawhi not
done,
man. Kawhi not done.
Nobody doing that.
What he's doing right now is being responsible. Like, no, I'm not gonna come out here and not be ready for the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? He probably plan on playing 65 plus again. You know what I mean? He not done yet.
Last year.
It's not over to the fat lady scene. Y'all acting like he retired or something.
The responsible thing was to not go out there. That's the responsible. The responsible thing is to say, "Nah, I'm good." Go be with your family. Your knee hurt. Go sit your ass down.
He was there for a week. His family, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Week too long. Unnecessary week. What was the point?
He just put foreseeing the future. I think the Clippers are just being a smart organization. Like, yo, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Your knees aren't the healthiest. Why would you play in the summer? In the
Olympics? Why would they do it now? Why would they? This is what I'm saying. It has to be something, because they wouldn't just be like, go ahead, and then a week into the Olympics, be like, wait, we're shutting you down right now.
It's not a week into the Olympics. It's a week into them just training. The Olympics haven't started at all. Like we got a lot of time, bro. So I think it was just kind of going to the training camp, no big deal. Like,
so they just had a change of heart.
So, Ox, you think that they're doing this as a precaution? Is that what you think?
100% it's precaution. Like on the Clippers' behalf, on Kawhi's team, it's just kind of like let's sit down and think about this. Kawhi, should you really run a whole Olympic circuit? You know what I'm saying? When you know that you need to reserve your body as much as you can, like that's just a smart
Damo's
move.
point. Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that before we even got started? What do we?
What
even
is it?
make?
I mean, what does it matter? He got to work out. He got to work out anyway. He still got to be in the lab anyway. So what does it matter?
Okay, so be in the Clippers lab.
Saying?
Don't be in Team USA lab where they got to go ahead and relay us messages. Hey man, he started limping after the third suicide.
Who said he was limping?
Obviously,
something had to be said for them to
Why
pull
is that
him now.
obvious?
Like,
I don't understand how that's so obvious.
They just had the days where they were running the scrimmages against the USA select team, and now we're going to have these conversations. Now we're going to pull them out. Obviously, there's a conversation about what's going on with Kawhi. They're not just
obviously him and his team probably decided like it's just probably not a good idea for you to be running on this. You know what I'm saying?
And him and his team were irresponsible for going over there in the first place, knowing his situation.
If you're telling me that this man can't play basketball for a week, then he has to retire. Okay, so I'll agree with y'all on this one if Kawhi Leonard retires before the beginning of the season.
Right.
Because if you can't, I'm saying if you can't go a week into Olympic training camp and play still, then there's no way that you can make it through a month of the NBA season.
That's
not possible.
They asked why?
How's that not true?
Okay.
Because again, you would even say that an NBA season, in terms of, especially from what an NBA thinks, an NBA season is more important than the USA circuit. So if there is a chance that he tweaked something just made him not look 100%, so he's looking 80%, whatever, why push him through the USA circuit when in all actuality, that's something you would do in a regular season when it meant more. They will probably be comfortable with him doing that in a Clippers jersey in the regular season or playoffs, pushing him when he's not 100% versus him doing that exact same thing in USA ball, which again is irresponsible for a guy that is injured. He's not healthy. He was already hurt in the playoffs. He's still hurt. He hasn't healed to go over there. That's irresponsible.
Man, the way his body is set up, Damo, if he's hurting, he gotta sit down. Like he doesn't just recover playing through it. He can't play through it. Yeah. He has to rest. That's the only when your knees are like that, the only way to bounce back is to sit down. You got to sit down and rest.
So he shouldn't even been out there in the first place.
Rice. Rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation. Right. That's the only thing he can do.
Right. And with everything that you just said, Ox, he's not doing that with Team USA. He was dropped from the crew because he can't hold up. There's the perception watching him, Grant Hill, all the representatives of the USA basketball watching him going, he might not hold up. He may even be thinking that.
That's what I'm saying. How y'all know that Team USA kicked him off the team? Maybe he went to Grant Grant. I don't think it's best for me to be here right now.
Right.
Let somebody else get the spot. You know what I'm saying?
And he may even, and that's back to the original point. If you knew, let somebody else get the original spot. That goes back to the original point. You probably coming into camp when we first started this, there was some doubt in your head that you were ready. Because just so you know, Ox, I don't know if you know this, but he just started like a couple of weeks ago getting ready for camp. Don't forget, he hadn't played in almost 2 months. So a couple of weeks ago, he just got started. So now I'm going into training camp with James and KD and Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis and all of these dudes. And this camp is going to be intense because we're gearing up for the Olympics. So when I get out there, I have to be prepared for that. There was a part of him, I'm sure, who had not played at all in the postseason and just started playing a couple of weeks ago. Am I really ready for this? Am I physically able to do this? That's the $1 million question. Well, obviously he's not, because after a week of training camp, you know what? I should probably go sit my ass down and get ready for the regular season in the NBA, which, by the way, when that shows up, I have to be more in shape. But in order for me to do that, I got to be able to run. And it's obvious that I can't do what I used to be able to do physically. So I'm going to need more time to recover than I had previous to the season ending.
See, but y'all stating opinions as if they're facts. Like, obviously this or obviously that. Like, we don't know. Maybe you're just like, you know what? this shit hurts sometimes. I think I'd rather go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna chill out, and then when
This fool been playing on a half a knee for his whole life. He been playing on that knee forever. For as long as he's existed, he's been playing on those same two knees. He knew before the team landed in Las Vegas, before the end of the season, before he left the surgery room from his last procedure, he knew how it felt to run on that knee. Why y'all got a problem with this? Nobody has a problem with it. We're just stating that this is nasty.
Y'all acting like, why did he even show up? Why did he even show up?
Right.
Oh my God, like y'all act like somebody just dropped the bomb. Breaking news, Kawhi not playing. Like, okay, so
what I'm saying is it gotta be something serious.
Joe,
it has
been serious, right? It's been serious. That's why he's not playing, because it's been serious. This isn't some like
no, it hasn't been serious. If it had been serious, he wouldn't have been showed his ass up to camp. He went to camp because he didn't think that this was an issue. He got to camp and was like, okay, this is bigger than I think it is.
Y'all got to stop saying that.
How do you know that?
That's what I'm saying.
That's just not logical. It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna show up injured, and hopefully, miraculously, they'll have some different trainers at Team USA camp that's not in LA, or that wasn't in Toronto, or that definitely wasn't in San Antonio. They'll miraculously fly somebody in from Germany that did a procedure on Kobe and does this, and this, and has brought people back from the dead, and they'll give me the cadaver that's in Joel Embiid's knee, and we'll make it happen.
So it's up. What I'm saying is, like, y'all act like it's so unreasonable for a guy in Kawhi's stage of career. Y'all act like it's so unreasonable for him to think like, you know what, I'll go to camp and see about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go see what's up. And then when he get there, he just like, you know what, 2 months of this, I don't think so. I think it's better for me to get ready for my NBA season. Why is that? Y'all act like that's just so illogical. Like, yeah, why not?
Can't hear you, Dom. Can't hear you, Dom. Can't hear you.
This looks like it's about
My
to be
fault.
good.
It's not illogical. It's just a waste of time. Just like now, we're seeing Derek White.
His time. Let him waste his time.
Derek White is replacing him now. Derek White, bright ass, could have been out there for the team pictures and got this week of training in and seeing what the system was and seeing where his fit was. That's what could have happened. But no, let's waste our time with Kawhi taking these cheesy ass pictures, standing behind people, run up and down for 2 days just to fly home. That's the problem. Same thing with Joel. When inevitably the Sixers come to their senses and be like, maybe my star product that can't finish a damn season, that has been hurt 9 of the 10 years he's been in the NBA, and we drafted hurt. Maybe when we realize, maybe he shouldn't be out there with his degenerative knees. Man, let's bring his ass back too. Then we got to find another big man to replace him and have the same conversation in a week from now? This shit is stupid. Like I said, they shouldn't have been there. No one that was hurt in the playoffs should be suiting up in the Olympics. That goes for Luka. We've been crying, oh man, Luka not healthy. Luka's hurt. Look at his knee. His knee's always bleeding. Now he out there scrapping all over the floor for I don't want to say the wrong. Slovenia. Now he out there doing all this work for Slovenia. Where'd the injury go? Are you still hurt? Because don't let it pop up randomly. Then the Mavericks going to be looking crazy. Everybody that's a Mavs fan is going to be looking stupid. That's what I'm saying. No one that was hurt that we were giving the excuse of, oh, he's playing injured. Oh, he's not 100%. Look at him limping. Joel Embiid couldn't even stand up straight in the playoffs. He was hunched over like Doc Rivers with a bad back every second you've seen him. Now he's going to play for Team USA.
And it wasn't because he was out of shape neither. And it wasn't.
I told y'all a year ago, like this time a year ago, that I don't think any of these guys should show up. You know what I'm saying? And they showed up just, maybe to see about it. KD, KD might be next. Are we going to say this about KD next too? Oh, you wasted time. Why would you show up? Somebody else could have been there and learned the system and all this and that.
People take this shit serious. We can get people to take this serious. I don't need nobody out there. I don't need nobody out there just, oh man, let me see. Hey, let me see what the vibe's like with the guys on vacation for a week. Oh no, like I'm gonna go home. Get the hell out of here, man. We trying to win some damn gold out here. We're trying to actually play basketball. This is still basketball at the end of the day. Let's get people out here that want to play, not see what the vibes is like. What is this? Spring break in Miami? That's what we talking about. Oh, see what it's like with the guys.
That's not you Damo, you talking about they going out there to see the vibes? Come on,
yo, Hey, Kawhi went to Vegas for the beach parties.
Come on, bro. This is insane. I can't believe
He did let his hair down.
Oh,
Let's be clear
Kawhi
about-
went to my. Hey, he went to Las Vegas for 4th of July for the fireworks show. He went to the Hard Rock Cafe. He went to Dre's. I see what's going on here. Okay, hey, Kawhi, I'm glad you had a good time. But in all seriousness, Kawhi, this really is sad. I hope that this isn't something that, not for real. Like, you know, I'm a bigger Kawhi fan than most of y'all. So I hope this doesn't linger on into the season. I do personally, and we don't have all the information. I do personally think it's more serious than Ox will want to let on, because I think if he was good, he would play. I don't think it's a precautionary thing. I think it's something that actually happened. But with that being said, Ox, go put on your Kawhi jersey right now, man. Could be, yeah, man. We might.
You really acting like it's a funeral. That's crazy.
Ox, go put on your Kawhi jersey, and you know we'll be here for you in spirit, and we'll support you.
Man, I'm picking the Clippers in 6 next year, man.
Mars, don't do this. Mars, you're an enabler, Mars.
Kawhi gonna get it done, man. I believe in the Clippers.
Why not? It's the same thing. It's the same thing as picking the Sixers. What's the difference?
Honestly,
that's why I'm picking. That's why I'm picking the Clippers now.
The Sixers got Paul George. I mean, the Clippers got Paul. Yeah, Sixers got Paul George.
So you out on Philly now, Mars? It's the Clippers in 7?
No. I'm never gonna root for the Clippers. That's just no one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's still Philly in 6. But I do feel for Kawhi, man. It's unfortunate. I mean, only about as much as I can feel for someone who's gonna be making $50 million. But like, I feel for him in some regards. So it's unfortunate.
Let's not make it sound like he's not gonna play. He's gonna play this season. How much he's gonna play? That's what's in question.
I don't know, Chill. He might show up to the Clippers facility just to feel the vibes and then realize, you know what, I can't walk.
Man, you got Canada up there working every day. You got Giannis crying up over there for Greece. You got Jose what's his name? Jose Alvarado and Carlos Arroyo up there crying for the Puerto Ricans out there making their stuff, and you got guys out here talking about some, man, let's see what the vibe's like. Hey, let's see what we can do. Let's see how this week goes and see how I feel. Get the hell out of here, man. These other countries is taking it serious, and we got niggas out here trying to go on vacation. Bam out here going on dinner dates. Man, get locked in. We're trying to get gold out here. I'm still trying to prove no allows wrong, and y'all out here playing.
Yeah, Bam need to focus. Bam tripping.
Wait. If Bam need to focus, you know who else need to focus? How about his chick who working too? How about her? She need to focus too, Ox. If this is a one-way street.
She's the best basketball player in the world, Chill.
I'm with you.
She knows what she's doing. She got this.
She got this. I ain't gonna lie to you. Straight. she can take a little break. She deserves a break. The way she's carrying the WNBA right now.
Facts.
All right, fellas, we're gonna dive into these super chats, and then we're gonna get immediately back to Derek White as the replacement. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this and whether it should have been somebody else. But before we do that, I want to shout out everybody that's watching the video. Y'all know the drill. Hit that like button. It's your only entry fee, and that's all we ask of you guys. Shout out our new subscribers. Shout out all of our members. And before we go any further, I also got to shout out the PCL, our new NBA debate league. It will be 7 weeks long, and it will kick off July 24th, and the winner will get a whopping $1,000. But that's not just us, and that's not just the participants here in PC. We need 2 people, 2 of you guys, to come up here and debate with us. We're opening up the door for you guys to step in. If you think you got what it takes to debate against any of us up here, if you think you got what it takes to debate against the Dubs of this world, if you think you got what it takes to debate against the Lows of this world, if you think you got what it takes to debate against the big tickets of this world, sign up on this QR code right here, fill it out, send through a video, and you may be selected to join the PCL as well and take home a nice cash prize. Hopefully we see you there. Like I said, Mike, if you enter, I'm going to move your application up to the top. And also to, buddy, call me. I'll be able to rework some things. I'll get you in there, brother. I'll put you in the right division. All right. All right. We got members. Devon Williams became a member today. Dubs the Money Man, he became a member today. Big shout out to them. Mitchie also became a member. Shout out to Mitchie. Appreciate y'all for joining the show today. Appreciate y'all for joining the family. Big ups to y'all. Heat vs. Haters 2.0 said Clippers going to miss the play-in next year.
Memphis gonna take their spot.
I think that's actually Houston.
Yeah, I don't want
Houston's
to
gonna
be
take that spot.
biased, so just gonna say Memphis.
Is it anybody up here that sincerely believes that the Clippers aren't going to make the playoffs?
I wouldn't be
It depends
surprised
on
if
how
they
much
just
Kawhi
play.
can play. Like it's
It
entirely
wouldn't
depends.
surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
But
if they
I'm
just play.
actively rooting against them. So
I expect 65 plus games from Kawhi, so I'm sure they're gonna make the playoffs.
he does
Again,
that, they'll probably make it. Yeah.
again, all right. Even though that was the first time he had played that many games since I think 2017 or 2016, so that was 7 years ago. That was the last time he played that many games. So
I got them as a playing team. I don't. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be as good as they've been before, but I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Grande Jones has been a member for 20 months, man. Big shout out to Grande, man. He's been holding it down for us for a long time. One of our longest and best, not only members or subscribers, but just members of our family as well. Shout out to Grande. He said, salute Big Ox. He just did a 6 to 7 hour stream. Now he's on the panel. My boy grinding. Dub Ron, El Mars, sometimes. Dub Damo, and Eat It, Chilltown.
Eating it.
Yo, Ox.
No sketch.
What up?
You did a 6 hour stream?
Yeah, I'm not frauding. I'm podding.
Oh, okay.
You see it.
Okay. Where'd you do that at?
Oh, on the graveyard shift last night at Big Axe Media.
Okay.
It started off as a response to Gilbert Arenas, and then it just turned into a longer stream. Because Sacramento said fuck you too, Gil. And
about
the
that?
same in the same to be Jennings. Fuck both of them.
Oh man.
All right. Anything else you want to say regarding that topic?
No, I don't. That clown shit needs no more attention.
Damn, see what they said
Dama, you don't know what they said?
about the Kings. Nah, they always say crazy stuff. I kind of tune them out.
Does anybody have the clip?
Did they say something about DeMar going there like basically wasting his time or something? Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
worth
he was just being a crybaby, upset because he didn't want to go play for the Lakers. Like, what this got to do with you?
Wait, wait, Gil a Laker fan?
I believe so.
He refers to them as us.
Yeah, I believe
He
so.
does. Mm-hmm. He does refer to them as us. So
I think he from down there somewhere. Like,
Yeah, he's from
LA. Yeah.
We really are the worst fan base, ain't we? Damn.
I don't necessarily mean that because I'll talk about teams. I'll talk about Miami. I'll talk about Indiana, and I'll reference us like when I'm making a point. But I don't know if that necessarily means that Gil is a fan of the Lakers.
He a Laker fan.
Is he?
Yeah, I know him personally. Yeah, Laker. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Next super chat that we got. Hello, Mars. It
Hello.
seems like Gandhi KV2 got you right where he wants you. He said the video is Michael Jordan would lead the NBA in scoring as a rookie. I remember that episode. Chilltown, don't you remember this episode?
The worst episode of all time.
I remember this episode. I think even Low popped up on this episode. I remember it. I remember this episode vividly.
I remember it vividly. Yes.
It's ironic that this happens to be the episode that he sends through the timestamps at 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 23 seconds. He even sent through the episode number. He said episode 131.
Yeah, I said
When
MJ.
Low popped up.
I said MJ would be ringless in this era. I said him and Giannis is a first round exit. Yeah. That was the episode I heard rookie MJ would lead the league in scoring because he has will. Yeah.
So what was more preposterous?
I
MJ leading the
mean,
league in scoring or Giannis and MJ?
it depends on if you took what I said serious or not. That's up to you. I mean, that's up to your discretion.
Okay. So you using the troll card to get out of this one?
No, I mean you can watch it and listen to me and see if you think I was being serious. I mean, that's on you. I'm gonna stand on it. First round exit, that's cool. But it's up to your discretion. I can't tell you whether you think I was being serious.
All right. Y'all see it right here. Gandhi KV2. The video. Michael Jordan would lead the NBA in scoring as a rookie. The panel. Timestamp 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 23 seconds. Episode 131. Y'all go check it out for yourself. Also, Gandhi KV2 sent through a super chat and said, Penn will be the MVP of this debate playoff, and Chilltown's going all the way. Penn's early favorite? All right. Shout out Penn. Dub, the money man, been a member for 2 months. He said chat clears every show. Dub panel, dub chat.
Dub chat.
I can get with that logic. I absolutely can. Shout out to chat. Mitchie also became a member. Big shout out to Mitchie. Appreciate you for coming through. MP13 said that Kings video was the most disingenuous, bad faith conversation I've ever seen. It was nasty inconsistency.
I didn't. Are we talking about what we was talking about? Or wow, I don't.
It was disingenuous. Like when apparently the Kings will beat the Lakers because they have the Lakers number, but the Rockets won't beat the Kings for the same reason. Very disingenuous. Facts. 3-0 against them last season.
I was about to say, didn't they own them this season?
Yeah,
3-0.
Yeah,
they ain't beat them one time. So
yep. Blew them out too. But yeah, light work.
Lou Bangs said that I look like Denzel in Gladiator 2. Yo, you know Denzel. I just want to put this on your mind, just so you know. Denzel Washington is 70 years old this year, yo.
Man,
70.
crazy.
So
you guys are in the same class. Tough.
Think about that for a second. I look like a 70-year-old because Denzel looked good, to be honest with you. So I mean, I guess I look good for a 70-year-old. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
I didn't know he was 70. So he saw Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain.
Literally, he was around when that was going on.
We need to get Denzel on here.
Yes, sir. He was around when them dudes was playing. So,
Yo, Mars.
Whoa. That's just a factual statement.
What is going on under that dude?
That's just if he's 70, he was born in what, 54? Yep. Like that means factually he was there when Bill Russell got drafted. He was 3, but he was there. And then he saw Wilt when he was 6. Like he was there. He seen it. That's just me being honest.
With that being said, that Gladiator movie looks like it's about to be top tier. I can't wait for that.
Mike, don't worry about coming for me in the debate league, my man. See this dude right here with the hat backwards? He already invited you up on the stage, and you passed. And he didn't invite you once. He invited you twice to the Discord, and you never showed up. That's not my opinion. He's standing right here. He is right here. He invited you twice, and you never showed up. So I think I'm good on
These are facts. These are facts.
I'm good,
Mike. Mike, if you want an early invitation to the debate league, hit me up right now and I'll send you the link. Yeah, Mike, I usually don't do this. I usually do not.
That's because you know he's not going to hit you up.
Yeah.
I usually don't. I will send the link directly to you. Hit me up right now.
I smell.
He's not about to hit you up.
I smell.
Yeah, you know he's not about to hit you up, Ron. That's why you said that.
Mike, man, look, my Instagram is lhost199. Hit me up right now. I got you.
What's the point? He gonna hit you up. You gonna send him the link, and ain't nothing gonna happen.
Mike's scared, bro.
He said you was waiting in the Discord, but he said he was waiting in the Discord and you never showed up.
I was there with other people waiting, and he didn't show up. And then when I left, an hour later, he hits my line. I'm in here waiting for you. I'm waiting. Like you weren't here. I told you when to pop up. I'm sorry, I got stuff to do, buddy. You told me you would be there. But why are we giving this goofy this much time? I mean, I'm not trying to.
You're right. You're right. I apologize. You're right, Damo. My fault. I apologize. Anyway, Ron, back to what we were doing.
Well, I want to play this Gilbert Arenas clip because Damo hasn't heard it, and it's probably some other people out here that haven't heard it. Ox.
Yeah.
I'll give you opportunity to mute your headphones if you want to, or go put on your Kawhi Leonard jersey. I know you might not want to hear
Can
this.
I do that for real? I'm in my headphones.
Unplug them.
Oh, okay.
All right, here it goes, fellas.
Don't you like big cities, bro? You keep going to these weak ass cities, man. Like, I need to call tomorrow, man. Like, don't you like big cities, bro? You keep going to these weak ass cities, man. I mean, but San Antonio, man, Chicago, cold. I mean, but going down to Hicksville, what other fucking thousand stank, ugly city like they ranked? Our state capital. City is trash. Our state capital. They ranked number one, and just people just being ugly over there. City you want to be where? Sacramento. Bingo players out there. Played in Sac. Bingo. Played in Sac. Bingo players is nice older work. They ranked number one. 38 and older. They got top 30. Sacramento's trash. They ranked number one in ugliest people in America. I don't know how that worked, but they ranked them. Little bit of dudes because the workers. This is crazy. Like, you didn't want to come home. Yeah. So don't mind that.
You muted, Mike.
It went there. He said, "Oh, you didn't want to come home to Sacramento. I mean, you didn't want to come home, man." Like, but what do you mean? God damn. You didn't want to go play with Brian? My thing is this, though. How you gonna talk about that it's the ugliest place in the world or the ugliest people in the world, and you met your wife there, have 4 or 5 kids with her.
That don't sound correct.
I mean,
well, that nigga's a horrible dad, so I wouldn't bring his kids into it. He was a horrible dad.
Wow.
But we talking about Gil, right?
Yeah.
Gil was a horrible father. I mean,
I don't know about that. I wouldn't.
No. I'm just talking about the comments he's publicly made about being a dad. I can say that nigga's a horrible father. I'm going with it. Getting on Rudy about wanting to be there for his kids being born, saying, them little niggas to be there. Talking about not being in his kids' lives when they was kids and waiting for him to get older. Like, that's bad. To me, that's bad dad shit. I'm sorry. I can't get behind a nigga doing that. So he's a clown. Gil's been a clown. They get on their show and say whatever will piss people off to stir up clips for views, because that's the name of the game for a lot of people that's getting into content creation that can't really create content. You create controversy to be the content. I seen it right on the wall when he was on his build a wall around the border BS about getting all the Euros out of the NBA. I've never heard something like that before. So that let me know where he was going and what lines he's towing. When he had that clown sitting there, and I don't care that a lot of people tell me to chill out with Rashard McCants because he's a former Carolina guy. I don't care if you're a former Carolina guy. If you're an idiot, I'm gonna call you an idiot. He got clowns sitting there with crowns on their head, calling themselves king, saying dumb stuff for views. It is what it is. I'm not surprised. Sacramento's a beautiful place. Changed my life, changed my perception of the world. I have nothing but great things to say when I speak on Sacramento. So it is what it is.
And beautiful people. I'm talking about gorgeous women in Sacramento. And the thing about that is, you know that. So for you to regurgitate some nonsense that you heard, that you read in a article 6-7 years ago, regurgitate that knowing it's not true. It's just like my biggest thing is
about the bingo players.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't they play bingo everywhere? My granny from LA, so she used to play bingo all the time in LA. What's wrong with playing bingo for old people? But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the fans of Sacramento don't deserve to be talked about that way. You know what I'm saying? Our organization doesn't deserve that. We got some of the best fans in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not. That just wasn't nice, Gil. It just wasn't nice at all. It was just poor taste to say that. My thing is, when you're already famous and already rich, what's the point in the clickbait? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need the clickbait. They're gonna watch you. It's my opinion.
Very true.
All right, there you have it. That's that. Brian Pumper said, I mean, fellas, things change after a full season. You find out that there are two teams willing to give you the max. Why would you take less?
No, he can take what he wants, but at the end of the day, they offered him what he asked for, and then he changed his demands. Like, it's that simple. But he's entitled to go get 4 years, 212 elsewhere. That's on him.
Yeah, man. Go get your money, Paul. I'm not mad at you. Get that bread.
Facts. I'm never gonna judge someone for getting their money, but when you're telling the story like you were done wrong when they gave you what you wanted and then you changed what you wanted, like, okay, like you're entitled to want a no trade clause, but let's not act like they didn't give you what you asked for.
Right. Mars, you ever had a friend where they just like tell you like, oh, I got done so wrong, or this happened,
and then you hear the
like,
story and you realize they were in the wrong.
Yeah, you're like, well, what happened? And they tell you, like, bro, stop wasting my time, bro. Shut up.
Chris Luis said PG asked for what Kawhi got halfway in the season. They said no. Only offered him at the end of the season. He felt disrespected, so he put in the NTC.
So he asked for what Kawhi got, and then he got given what Kawhi got. But then at that time, it was now I want more than what Kawhi got.
Nah, man. He wanted what Kawhi got when he asked for it, man. The timing made it disrespectful.
Yeah.
Stop. I wanted what Kawhi got in February. Man, it's June now. I don't want that no more. All right, buddy.
Yeah,
Even though things have not changed from February to June, it's the same thing. So
man, PG a sucker. I don't care.
I actually played terribly in the playoffs, so
right.
It makes sense. That's on brand.
Yeah, James Harden played better than me in the playoffs, but he took 2 years, 75. But I want what Kawhi got. Even though I'm the same guy who said Kawhi is the number one and I'm the number two, and I'm just here to play behind Kawhi. But I want the same thing Kawhi got because you view me and him the same. Even though I say, but in my own opinion of myself, I don't view myself the same as Kawhi. But now, when it comes to financial, I view myself the same as Kawhi. In fact, now because you didn't want to pay me what Kawhi got in February, now I view myself as more than Kawhi. Give me a no trade clause. But you're not going to give me a no trade clause? Now I'm even better than Kawhi. 4 years, 212. Yeah, that makes sense.
No,
like, bro,
I mean,
the guy wanted more money. It's fine. It's a business. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, let's not act like the guy just be double talking. Like, it's cool. Like, he has his own pod. He be saying, but he be trying to do everything in his power to make it seem like nothing he does is his fault. Oh man, I ain't trying to blame James Harden, but when we got James and we lost Rocco and Batum, and they had me doing the dirty work and Kawhi. Doing everything to say 100%. Everything that happens is not his fault. Oh man, 2 years 60 was so disrespectful. Me and Kawhi are the same. Oh, I get the same thing as Kawhi, but nah, because you didn't give it to me when I asked for it in February. So that's unfair. Now Philly wanted to do this for me, and it's like, I wanted to go to Golden State. That would have been cool, but then the trade package wasn't good enough, and it's like, that's unfortunate. But I'm happy to be like, shut up, man. I'm tired of hearing what you're saying.
Telling y'all about these prima donnas, bro. It's just sad.
He's a good player though, but I'm gonna be honest, that the stuff he be saying, like, don't even be adding up.
Nah, the him sitting there blaming James Harden without blaming James Harden, saying he don't want to blame James Harden. Sucker move to me. I'm sorry. Sucker move to me. That was some sucker stuff. I'm not blaming. If you have the preference your statement in the middle of your statement 8 times, all right, bro, just say what you really feel. I'm not trying to blame James, but us getting James meant that we were, lacking in some other aspects because it's not his fault. But now I got to do more work because James is here. I'm not blaming him, but he's here. We gave up dirty work guys, and now I got to be a dirty work guy and score. Not James' fault. I'm like, all right, bro, just blame James, bro. You got James Harden. You ain't want James Harden. Cool. Like, just blame him. You a sucker.
It's only right. It's only right that he tries to extort the Clippers. I mean, he did say he's getting back on his bully. So, get on your bully, Paul.
That's like when the statement starts with, Damo, no disrespect. You know what's about to happen.
Now imagine saying no disrespect 8 times while you explaining the no disrespect.
Right.
Like,
Damo, no disrespect, Damo, but no disrespect, Damo, but no disrespect, Damo, but
no disrespect. But everything that went wrong is your fault. But I'm not saying it's your fault.
I ain't really saying that it's your fault, Damo, but no disrespect to you. You still.
I don't get how anything that's been said.
Now I got to do dirty work. No disrespect to you because that ain't really my job. That's really his job. And the fact that he ain't here no more is because of you. But no disrespect to you, though. Give me a break.
How is no one hated on PG? I just made an observation of the things he said, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, 260. If I got offered 2 years, 60 million, I would have stopped negotiating." Cool. If he would have done that, then no one would have been saying anything about what PG's saying is hypocritical. But he continued negotiating, asked for something, got given it, and then upped his price even more, and then acted like he was the one hard done by. Like,
and on top of that, let's not act like Paul George wasn't paid handsomely by the Clippers because he signed that max deal with Oklahoma City, which the Clippers took on. And what did they get out of this over the last 5 years? They got nothing. So now we go back to the drawing board. We go back to the table. And now what you want us to do is you want us to give you the same thing that you got in years past. What do you have to show for why we brought you here? Which, by the way, you made it clear that what did Paul George said he owed the Clippers? If I'm not mistaken, what did he say he owed the Clippers?
A championship.
Has there been a parade on Figueroa in the last 5 years? So with that being said, you haven't held up your end of the bargain. In the process of you not holding up your end of the bargain, you want us to pay you max money. You want us to pay you max money, and we actually offer you max money, but that ain't good enough. What you also want is you want us to be able to go. You want to be able to go, well, no, I want a no trade clause in my contract, which means that if you want to dump me off to Portland, I ain't trying to hear that. And then when we don't agree to that, well, we the ones are being disrespectful. You are actually the one that's being disrespectful because you are the one who said this is what it was going to be for me when I'm here. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain. They actually were going to pay you, and you were the one who reneged on it. So get out of here, man.
And for what it's worth, and anyone who watched a lot of the Clippers this year, Paul George went through a large portion of the season where he genuinely just wasn't even trying on the court. Now, I'm not going to say it's because of the negotiations, but in his own words, man, we had to stop negotiations mid-season because I didn't want it to interfere with what was happening on the team. But then I'm watching him not try on defense. He's just phasing in and out of games offensively. Like, he wasn't, like, Clippers fans were getting mad at Paul George for not trying during the season, but somehow he was the one being hard done by. Like, he just did. Shout out to Paul George, man. 4 years, 212. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. 53 million a year. Shout out to him.
Since we're talking about Paul George, you guys do know he changed his jersey number, right?
To what?
Number eight.
And you do know why he changed his jersey number to number 8, right?
Honor Kobe is what he said.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that really?
Fuck. Bro, this is
Yeah.
Honor Kobe.
God.
Honor Kobe.
Can you handle it?
No, hell no. Especially not number 8, Kobe. That was a demon.
He's gonna honor Kobe while playing a Tobias Harris role. Man, Kobe turning in his grave right now, man. Like what?
Facts, rolling over, pissed right now.
Upset.
I'm saying what I'm saying is this. First of all, I don't got no love for number 8, Kobe, so I'm not honoring number 8. You know what I'm saying? But like that version of Kobe was a complete menace, demon, dog. Like Paul don't got none of that. None of that.
Should he have gone back to 24?
Should have left that alone too.
So what should he have worn? In your opinion, what should he have gone to? Because 13 is obviously Will Chamberlain, so can't wear that.
Anything but that.
He can't
Just, you know what I'm saying? Just keep Kobe out of this.
Well, he used to be PG 24. Right? That's just what he used to be in Indiana. Maybe he could get back to that. And I want to clarify. I think Paul George is a very good player, and I think he's going to help Philly a lot. But the way he be manipulating these stories on his podcast is insane. Now that's all it is. It's insane. Somehow every situation is nothing to do with him, and it's everything to do with everything that's around him, or whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, especially when he played badly in the postseason. Like it's not like he played well, and it's like, man, we just didn't have it. We didn't have enough, or the offense became too ISO heavy in the postseason. He was the one ISO in, but.
And then missed the postseason the year before that too, by the way.
Shout out to Paul George, man.
Real quick, can I ask y'all, and since we're talking about Paul George, kind of a random Paul George question, but just to gauge something. Is Paul George or DeMar DeRozan currently on the same tier player? Are they in the same realm?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Same realm, like in terms of
I think PG better than him.
So
I think PG is better than him.
If there's a world where Paul George is worth double DeMar DeRozan, I think we're in a crazy world. But get your money.
I do think PG better than him though, but for the money that they pay him, I think that was a bit much.
But I always say you're worth what someone's willing to pay you. So
yes, you are 100%.
True that.
100%.
I'm not hating on him for that.
I think Paul George is better right now. Just at certain aspects of it. My thing is always, I don't care who's better. I want to know who's going to be more impactful. You know what I'm saying? Who's better just means absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know impact-wise if Paul George is. That's
why I said if they're the same tier player. Paul George can be better, but are they in the same tier?
They're in a
I don't think it's far off. Yeah, I don't think it's far off. If I'm a team, I'm sad. If I got PG and then I wake up tomorrow and it's not PG, it's DeMar DeRozan. Like I'm not mad. Like, oh shit.
If someone said you can get PG or DeMar DeRozan for half the money, I think most people would probably pick DeMar. Unless you just had a lot of money available. Then it's like
PG's still better like on defense though, for sure.
For sure. Clears.
Well, I mean, Ox, you have a team and they just signed DeMar DeRozan. Would you have rather them sign Paul George?
No.
Would you have been more happier if they would have got Paul George?
Ron, you know for a fact if we would have signed Paul George, I would have been pissed. I've never been a fan of Paul George though. That's me. I feel like he just wastes too much time on the offensive end. He just wastes time. That's to me. For me, that's one of my biggest pet peeves on the offense is just wasting time, dead time. You only got, especially in the NBA, you have 24 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's just too much for me. I can't do it. That's you know what? That's my biggest problem with a lot of players. Like with Luka, that's my biggest problem with him. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, come on, let's get to it. Man.
I just don't feel like Paul George is deliberate. It's like everything is just like the amount of times I see him get by someone and then snatch it back to get by them again. Like that's just a waste. Like that's so pointless. And I think that's part of the reason why his scoring in the postseason tends to struggle. And I think a lot of people overrate what he did in 2021. Like they already won 2 games against Utah when Kawhi went down. Like he won 2 games to get them to the conference finals. And then he didn't play particularly great against Phoenix. He just had that one great game. I want to say game 3. Other than that, he wasn't particularly great against them either. But
that tells me what you just talked about, Mars. That tells me that you in your head, because if I'm countering when I don't have to counter, if I'm snatching the ball back to snatch the ball back again when I can just go the first time, that means I'm in my head as an offensive player. There's no reason for me to snatch the ball back if I go on a hesitation left and I can do a 2-dribble pull-up. There's no reason for me to snatch the ball back. If I'm already anticipating that you're going to beat me to the spot, that means that I'm in my head instead of sticking to what I've been working on. If I'm sticking to what I've been working on, then I easily can get to that spot, like KD, like James. I'm thinking about scorers. But Paul George, he's basically anticipating that you're going to stop him or you're going to slow him down. And then when you do and he counters, he's thinking that you're going to counter that. That's doing too much in your head instead of just rolling with what you know.
I do think he can be good in Philly, though. Not just because I'm biased towards Philly, but I just think with the attention Joel draws, it just makes it easier for him. Like, he doesn't really get to the rim anymore, but if you got him against a scrambling defense, Paul George is going to be able to get to the basket. He's another elite spot-up weapon. Defensively, he's still very good, even if he's not what he was 5 years ago, but he's still very good defensively. Next to Tyrese Maxey, who can consistently get to the rim too. I think he's going to get a lot of open shots. I don't know what he's going to average, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had his most efficient season of his career. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I agree, Mars. PG about to get busy in Philly. I know we just trashed PG for about a good 5 minutes. Like, we just curb stomp PG, but he about to get busy in Philly.
I agree.
I see what it is, I see what it is in the comments too. And like that's exactly what it is, bro. He just want to be cute. He's like,
it's the Erykah Badu. He hears the music in his head when he be getting into his little combo.
He want them players. He one of them players that grew up with an arm sleeve, a wristband, a headband, a leg sleeve. You know what I'm saying? You know he one of them types. You know?
He said he'd be watching his highlights. So like, he aware. Like, I mean, most players probably do, but he said he'd be watching his highlights. Yeah, he'd be watching his highlights. He's trying to add more to the clip. That's cool. But I think he's gonna be very good for Philly, defensively, offensively. And like I said, I think he's a very good player. I just think the things he says contradicts a lot of other things he says and how he acts. And I don't like it. Personally.
Hey, real quick, and I just want to pivot to what you guys are talking about since we're on the subject of free agents, because Paul George just signed with the 76ers. Yo, are there free agent signings that we sleeping on that we haven't talked about? Like, for example, the fact that Sadiq Bey is still available. I know he's got a knee injury, right? I know he's got a knee injury. And like how much better would he be if he was healthy with the Miami Heat? Or like we talked about Gary Trent, right? We talked about Gary Trent and how good he would be if he was in Denver. I think he could be really good in Denver. You know, the fact that Oklahoma City bagged Aaron Wiggins, the fact that the Bulls bagged Jalen Smith. I think I'm a big Jalen Smith fan. And Mars, I already know how you feel about him, but the resurrector, who turns out to be Rick Carlisle, who's resurrected Obi Toppin's career, and
You think he's going to do it for James Wiseman?
I think, to be honest with you, Mars, I don't hate it. I really don't. I mean, Neesmith was buried on the bench. He was rotting on the bench in Boston. He actually looks like a starter in the NBA. Now you get with Rick Carlisle, who they don't run a lot of action. A lot of their stuff is just get it and go. And with that being said, that's kind of who James Wiseman. That's kind of the offense that he could thrive in, where he could just be one of those rim runners. That's it. Run to the rim each end. He doesn't have to be a pick and pop guy. He doesn't have to be a pick and dive guy on the regular. Rebound, rim run, protect the rim. I seen him shooting a three, especially in that offense with Tyrese Halliburton. I think he would be. I think Rick Carlisle could resurrect him. I do.
Chill. Rick Carlisle's gonna put him in the high chair. Pascal's gonna come and put the bib on him.
Yep.
Miles Turner's gonna open a little jar of applesauce. Halliburton's gonna have the spoon. He's gonna put it in there, get him a nice spoonful, and do the helicopter. And put it right and feed it to him.
Yeah.
Like
Who is this again?
James Wiseman.
James Wiseman.
He's barely gonna play. He's gonna play like
backup center. What are you talking about, Mars?
Nah.
Nah, what?
He's not gonna be that backup center.
Who's gonna be a backup center?
He's gonna be that third string center.
Who's the backup center?
Their backup center, Isaiah Jackson.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I like him.
They go off Jalen Smith.
Isaiah is alright too.
Isaiah Jackson's gonna be that backup big. He's gonna be that third string big.
Yeah, they lost.
I wouldn't be surprised if they run Pascal small ball 5 before they go to James Wiseman.
Mars, I think he's gonna help them. I'm not saying that he's
in practice he might be a big body to go against.
Yeah. I do think he's gonna help them. I do.
It's the 82 game season. At some point, Miles Turner's gonna miss some games. At some point, Isaiah Jackson might miss some games. Yeah. At some point, Pascal Siakam might miss some games. James, he gonna get some run. And
yes, that's what a third string center does. Comes in when there's injuries.
Well, here's the thing, though, Mars. Over practice and over that time that he gets, if he does improve and if he looks good next to Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell coming off the bench, guys like that, Nembhard feeding him. If he looks good next to Miles Turner or next to Pascal. You never know, man. He might take Isaiah Jackson's minutes.
I doubt it, but maybe. Like once again, somehow I'm hating for saying he's going to be that third string center.
No, he is going to be the third string
center.
Like,
in what world is that me hating? That's just objectively true. He's going to be that third string center at the start of the season. But
anything is possible.
But like maybe if there's injuries, he can play his way into the rotation. That's possible. But him being spoon-fed opportunities by Tyrese or whoever. That's not a problem with him. Defensively, he might be the worst big in the league. That's the problem. Is Indiana going to help him with that?
I'm glad you brought that up, Mars, because if you think about Indiana's defense, they got one of the worst defenses in the league. So we don't have to worry about that with him. We're just talking about him strictly on the offensive end. We don't have to worry about that with him, but he can rebound. He can do that.
He's not even that good at. Okay, maybe
he can rebound. He can.
Maybe
rebound.
I am here because okay.
So
sure,
he can do that now. Can he rebound like Andre Drummond? No,
of course.
Right? He's not that good of a rebounder, but he can rebound. Mars, I think he's going to help them. I do. I think he's going to definitely help them.
I hope he can turn his career around. He's a number 2 pick. I don't like seeing busts, but I'm not believing in it right now.
I'm just thinking about dudes like James Wiseman. Like me and Ox talked about Eric Gordon because I knew that they were going to lose Buddy Hield, and they signed Eric Gordon for insurance, and it actually worked. The fact that Damo with your crew, there's a reason why they signed Max Christie to that extension because they see what the future is with him, and the fact that he wasn't playing under Darvin Ham. Now, once we get Darvin Ham out of there, the offense is going to change, and Max Christie is going to get more involved in the offense. So
imagine Max Christie being the saviors of the Lakers.
Not the savior. No. Again, when we talking about these guys, I'm talking about guys. Ox, you're an impact guy. Mm-hmm. That's who you are, Ox. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about guys making an impact on a crew. I ain't talking about Paul George signing with Philly and turning them completely around. No, I'm not talking about Pascal Siakam signing a max deal with Indiana and being their number 2. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how Oklahoma City passed on Andre Drummond, and now Philly has him. and the fact that he could help them and make an impact on them for what they are. Like the fact that the Dallas Mavericks, we all in here are talking consistently about Klay Thompson, how he's going to help them, and completely forgetting about the fact that they got Najee Marshall and how big a deal he's going to be on that roster and what he's going to do to help them as a D&3 guy. Like, we completely leaving that out. And the developmental system.
I sincerely believe you guys are hyping Najee Marshall. I hope that he brings to them. I really do. I haven't.
Is he better than Derrick Jones? Ron?
I don't really think he's too much better. Better fit potentially. Derrick Jones. I liked what Derrick Jones brought to them in the playoffs. Like, yes, he didn't shoot 40%, but the way Derrick Jones was playing defense, the way Derrick Jones was crashing the glass, the way Derrick Jones was bringing energy, the way he was cutting, the way he catches oops from Luka and Kyrie. The way he runs the floor. I wasn't mad at Derrick Jones. I actually was surprised that he played to the level that he played at. Najee Marshall, on the other hand, he's been buried over there on the Pelicans bench. I don't think he sucks or anything.
He played some good minutes for the Pelicans.
So was he starting?
No,
they got Trey. They got Trey and Herb. Of course, he's not going to start.
That's what they got. Trey Herb, Brandon Ingram.
Derrick Jones would be buried on the bench with that logic.
I mean, he was starting.
No, but on the Pels, he would be buried on the bench.
Oh, look, I'm not comparing them, Mars. I'm not comparing them at all. They have two different games. My thing is, all I'm saying is Najee Marshall's going to play a much bigger role. He's going to start, right? Yes. I'm just saying I haven't seen him in starter minutes.
He played important minutes stuff for them, right? He played
off the bench. Clay's not going there to be off the bench, so he'll probably be on the bench. But
all I'm saying is I haven't seen him too much. I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm not saying why are you guys hyping him. I'm just saying I'm not as high as him as you guys are. So I'm curious to see how he's going to look.
Yeah, I think he'll change your team when you see him. I think he'll change your team a little.
Damo, outside of DJJ being a better athlete, why do you like him over Najee?
No, I like Najee over DJJ. 12 times out of 12, 100 times out of 100.
Because I think he's better defender.
I'm not better. At least in the same realm of defender. I'm not going to, because DJJ is a good defender. But if you want to say better defender, cool. I'm not going to argue it. But just as good defense, definitely a better playmaker. The shooting, he doesn't have to be in the corner to shoot. He's a better shooter anywhere, not just below the break, above the break, below the break. He's a better shooter for them. And that's a guy that, if Luka and Kyrie is on the court, I mean, I've seen him initiate offense for the Pelicans when Zion goes down, because the Pelicans ran an offense where they had Zion initiating a lot of things. When he went down, Najee picked up that slack, at least from the games I've seen. Now, I've heard some people say, oh, no, it's not true. From the games I've seen, Najee picked it up. I'm not sitting here saying he's basketball savant with the playmaking, but it's definitely somebody I trust the ball in his hands way more than DJJ. Hell, I remember in the playoffs, this man DJJ took a 1-on-5 fast break in crunch time. I'm like, what is this dude doing? Yeah. It's just better basketball decisions with the ball. He's just far a better fit. And he's a dog. That's another thing. Taylor just put it. He just put it in the chat too. He is a dog. That's great.
He's gonna pick up full court everything. He's gonna pick up. Yeah. But I need to ask you, though, man. Did you see Point Najee as Xavier? Did you see Point Najee? Did you see Point Najee?
No, I didn't. I don't even know what college he went to. There's no way he was running Point in Xavier. Was he?
Real ones talk about Point Najee as Xavier, man. Real ones.
There's a point, bro. This dude Mars knows Point everybody. For now there's Point Grimes in Nebraska apparently or something. Like, Jesus.
It was definitely Point Grimes for sure.
There was Point Herb Jones. I talk about that all the time. Point Herb Jones.
And they do got Quentin Grimes over there as well.
That's another great pickup because he was hurt last year, so like his stock was low. But if he can get back to what he was for the Knicks in 23, like that defense, another connective passer, shooter, like
he was good in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he was good in the playoffs.
I actually, because I know that
wait a second, Quentin Grimes.
Oh man,
no, bro. I'm saying
not McBride, not McBride,
not McBride.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking. Yeah, but I'm asking if y'all confusing them. 23.
No.
Okay. No. He's talking about.
Are you confusing the Mox?
No. I thought
he was just thinking of the last playoff.
I thought talking about this year, and I was like, but nah, he wasn't in the playoffs. Y'all are doing what I did, but then Marsh said that you were talking about 2023. So
that's what you're talking about. Yeah, Quentin Grimes. Yeah, he gonna be a good.
That's what I was asking. So it's like, are we talking about the real Quentin Grimes? We're talking about McBride.
I don't think Quentin Grimes played that great in the playoffs, but 23 Quentin Grimes is what we was talking about. But Yeah, he's gonna be a good pickup for them. And they just got off THJ to get him too. So like
Yes.
addition by subtraction too. So
My fault. Quentin
Dallas
Grimes
look
didn't play. Quentin Grimes is the light skin dude. McBride is the dude that's the dark skin dude that was with the Knicks. I confused them. My fault.
Oh, you did the Hawks. You did the Hawks.
Mhm. I confused.
Is
That's what I was
McBride
asking.
better than Quentin Grimes though?
Yeah.
Nah. Not if Quentin Grimes is healthy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I was actually surprised they got off Quentin Grimes for McBride. Essentially,
I'd assume it's a health thing. I'd assume. I also think McBride is younger.
he is, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
so,
younger
like,
and
they might be the reasons.
money
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, they might be the reasons, but I like Quentin Grimes, especially for Dallas. Yeah, for sure. And he's like 6'4", 6'5",
So Dallas is definitely winning right now, letting go of or moving off of Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, and was it just those two?
Yeah, they
I
still.
wanna
Yeah,
say-
I think so. I don't think there's anyone else they go off.
Derek Jones.
Yeah, Derrick Jones in LA now on the Clippers.
Yeah. So they lost those three, and then they picked up Klay Thompson, obviously, Quentin Grimes, and Najee Marshall. Have
Grimes
they upgraded their roster?
Grimes
1000%.
and McBride are the same age,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh,
They
okay. So they really did like for like. Tim Hardaway Jr. Horrible shot selection, not great defensively. Let's just get Klay Thompson. Upgrades. Same role, upgrades. Derrick Jones, point of attack defender, transition player, tertiary offensive option. Let's just get Najee Marshall, better defender, not as good in transition, but better shooter, better passer, better decision maker. Upgrades. Josh Green, high motor, high energy shooter, can make some decisions, but not much of a defender. Quentin Grimes, high energy, high motor, can make decisions, shoot, and is a better defender. Like they just upgraded. So they just upgraded in every regard of what they lost. And I think Josh Green was cool. He was a lot more energy than actual defense, but it was cool to have someone with that amount of energy. So I'm interested to see what he looks like in Charlotte.
Everybody, Team USA will be playing tonight against Canada. It is a friendly. It's an actual game, but it doesn't count for anything towards the Olympics. But that game will be coming on at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Or is it 7:30 Eastern? Right now, it's saying 7:30 Eastern right now, or 7:30 Pacific, which I don't know why it would be that late, but
Depending on where is the game at?
it's in Vegas.
That's probably why.
Yeah, so late as hell.
Because they on Pacific
3 a.m.
time over there.
Yeah, that's 3 a.m. I'm good on that.
10:30 Eastern. We'll definitely, you guys make sure to tap into that, whether it's tonight or whether it's tomorrow morning. But we will definitely be talking about that game tomorrow. Obviously, we have Team Canada, who's major factors in the Olympics coming up. They have a roster full of NBA stars and very good NBA players. So can't wait to see what they look like. On top of that, a Kawhi-less Team USA. Can't wait to see what they look like.
And KD-less.
Oh yeah, and KD-less. Yeah, so it should be a good game tonight. Should be interesting. It'll be our first look at both teams. So you guys definitely be sure to tap into that. Chill, you brought up a couple other some of the free agents and stuff like that. It's a couple signings that we haven't talked about. They're smaller signings, but they could be pivotal. The Denver Nuggets signed Dario Saric to a 2-year deal.
Good pickup.
Like
Very
that.
good pickup. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
Feeling it?
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
great
that
pickup.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Shout out
stretch.
Dario. Speaking of Dario,
You see
y'all
him?
seen Dario?
They getting into scraps.
Ooh, yeah. It looked like Dario might have got his clock cleaned out there playing in Athens.
It's a level of toughness, man. It's a level of toughness. That's what you need, man. I mean, yeah,
Well, now he got Jokic brothers behind him, so he should be all right walking around.
exactly. He's solid.
All right. Fontecchio re-upped with the Pistons. How we feeling about that 2-year deal?
Okay, it might sound crazy. I think the Pistons have had a solid little offseason. I
don't think it's nuts neither, Mars. I don't think it's nuts neither.
Free Cade. Hold on.
I don't think
it's still free Cade because they drafted another non-shooter. But they underrated signing of the offseason. They got Fred Vinson from the Pelicans. He's worked miracles for guys' jump shots. So if he can work miracles for Ron Hollands and Asar and maybe Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey and all those guys, that's a great signing. But bringing back Fontecchio, who was a good defender for them, very good shooter for them, high energy guy. Great pickup because he's not expensive. Tim Hardaway, with all his flaws, he can shoot the basketball. They need shooting. That's a solid thing. I hate the Tobias signing, but I'm gonna put that aside. I hate the Tobias signing. They just got Paul Reed from Philly. That's an upgrade over James Wiseman, who they lost. So that's solid. They got another year of development for Cade, another Jalen Duren's with the select team. Malik Beasley, that's another shooter. He shot very, very high percentages from 3 for Milwaukee, I believe. That's another very strong shooter for them. So although they're drafting young guys who can't shoot, they're getting vets who can shoot, and that's solid value. And even if they're a bad team, 27 wins, they now have Malik Beasley is going to be a guy who contenders are going to want to trade for at the deadline because he is another shooter. Not much of a defender, but he is another shooter. So that's another asset you have. Fontecchio is someone a contender might want to go for at the deadline. That's another asset. You're stuck to Tobias and Tim Hardaway Jr. But that's contracts. That's just contracts that can be moved in bigger deals and whatever the case. So I think Detroit have made some good moves and getting JB Bickerstaff. That's another good move.
Bingo. That's
another good move.
We
didn't talk about JB
of all the players that you talked about, Mars. Because if you think about last year, because Damo sold me on this last year, I was thinking about more than anything, even with the talent that they had with Cade, with Ivy, with Jalen Duren, right, with Stewart, with all the talent that they had. I thought the difference was going to be Coach Moti. Turns out Moti didn't want the job, and he completely just threw a monkey wrench in everything that they were doing. This season, they're not twisting JB Bickerstaff's arm. He actually wants this job, and I think that he's definitely going to help them. Yes, I like JB Bickerstaff's. I like his in game more than anything. I like his in game adjustments where he'll get guys who, if Tim Hardaway doesn't have it going, or if Tim Hardaway does, let's say Tim Hardaway does have it going, he'll run more action for him. And in addition to running more action for him, he'll get a big guy like Jalen Duren to set more screens and to set him up, stuff like that. Whereas, like Monty he would do something like Tim Hardaway would knock down 2 threes, then he'd yank him. He'd just take him right out of the game. So I like that about JB Bickerstaff. He could coach. He know the game.
I just hope he can make Jalen Duren a good defender because I don't know what went wrong with Jalen Duren. Because he was a I said it on Open Gym yesterday. I don't know anyone who was so good defensively in college who was this bad defensively in the NBA. Like I don't know what happened.
I think Coach Moti didn't know what he was doing with him. Nothing, and not just him. The rest of them dudes.
I can't put it on the like I can't do that because
Mars, you told me they were acting. He was acting.
Monty Williams, 1,000%. Monty Williams was a terrible. But Jalen Duren was egregious defensively with Dwayne Casey. Is his rookie year, and I was giving it of he's learning the NBA. There's certain adjustments.
That's what it is, Mars.
That's fine. That's fine because he was one of the youngest players in the league. But there was no way he was that good defensively in college. I understand it's a different game, but you don't go from that good to that bad. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. He was able to play drop in college. He showed some signs of switchability in college. He was an excellent rim protector in college. He's in the NBA. He can't play drop. The only thing he does on the defensive side of the ball is rebound. He doesn't protect the rim. He doesn't alter shots. Like, I don't understand what happened. I don't get it. Like, I've never seen, especially a big, be that good defensively in college and be this bad defensively in the NBA. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, is the action? Well, one, the players are better, and with the players being better, there's definitely higher results with guys. It's a lot different when I'm playing against when I'm at the University. He went to Memphis. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to Memphis, so it's a lot different. I'm playing, pick and dive coverage against a guy that plays for Tulane, as opposed to I'm playing pick and dive coverage against Anthony Davis, or I'm playing pick and dive coverage pick and pop coverage against Cat, and I'm playing pick and roll coverage with Jamal Murray, stuff like that. I feel like that's a lot different, and I'm not sure when he was at Memphis if he knew how to play defense. Maybe he was just bigger and stronger and faster than everybody and was just figuring it out on the fly. You can't do that in the NBA. You have to know what you're doing unless you are that special. Wemby, for example, where you're just that special, where we don't have to really teach you that much. You're a quick study. I feel like Jalen Duren, he's one of those guys who I mean, I feel like you do have to sit down with him a little bit more. So maybe he isn't watching film. That may be an issue. Maybe he isn't studying the game. That could also be an issue. Because if he's not doing that kind of stuff and he's just showing up, that could be a big reason why he's not playing defense and he's not picking this up, as opposed to if he was watching film, understanding coverages, understanding pick and drop, understanding pick and dive, understanding pick and pop, being around the rim, understanding when to block shots, how to block shots. I mean, maybe I think it's his study habits more than his ability, because it's obvious that he has the ability to do it.
Everything else he did in college translated though, like the vertical presence offensively, catching lobs, screening, rolling, the rebounding on both sides of the ball, that translated. The flashes he's shown as a passer and decision maker, that was actually pretty smart and high IQ. That translated. The shooting touch in terms of free throws, that was good. The only thing that didn't translate was everything that came to do with defense, rim protection, pick and roll, all of it. I ain't seen it before. I hope he can figure it out, because I was spearheads in the Dwight Howard comparisons, but his defense is so bad I've had to give up on that now. But like, it doesn't add up. It just doesn't.
Now remember too, Mars. I mean, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, sure, great defenders, but JB Bickerstaff, he coached a good defense.
That's what I'm hoping. Hoping.
He coached a good defense, so I think that he can help Jalen Duren.
That's really what I'm hoping, because there's no way he's this bad defensively his whole career.
Yo, Damo.
This about to
remember last offseason
this about to be some bullshit.
We made a mutual agreement that
here we go.
The Pistons will win a certain amount of games.
Uh-huh.
You remember it was a wager on that, right?
Here we go. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I'm just saying, my Cash App is kind of empty. It's a little lighter than what it should be.
Hear me out.
It's about to be some more bullshit.
My funds are liquid right now. They floating in the air. I got you. All my funds have been liquidated.
Just holler at me. When it's time to holler at me, holler at me.
When they become solid, they'll be solidly in your Cash App. I got you.
You should pay interest for them not only not being a 40-win team, them being the worst record in
worst team in the record. Man, and breaking the record, like
that. You couldn't have been more wrong.
And I bought
Damo, I'm here to tell you though, Mars just made an eloquent point that they can be better next year. I take you up on that same bet, brother.
40 wins?
No.
Right. You ain't sucking me in again, Damo.
What's your prediction for next year?
We didn't do it. It wasn't 40 though, wasn't it? It was like 32.
No, Domo said 40. Domo said 40. I said 27, and I was optimistic. Domo was just off the deep end.
I took the cash out of my pocket and bought that right in front of Damo. Like, yeah, let me get two of these niggas.
Yeah, Damo said they could be in the play-in.
I took the cash out of my pocket right there. Like, Damo, yeah, let me get that right there.
Remember when you got to be season 2-1 and me and Damo were running victory laps?
That was insane out of you guys.
They lost 11 straight after that, and then me and Damo was like, it's not really 11 games because some of these games are really close.
They're losing by 1 point. They're losing by 1. Guys is hurt. They still don't got their vets. They look 2-11, but they're not really 2-11. Like, all right.
Damo, where you killed me, Damo, was with and I really like Monte Morris. I like Monte Morris, but that's what was the thing for me, Damo.
In the words of my man,
coming back. Vet PG, that's what they do. Slow the game down for Brax.
In the words of my man Brax, we were at the town hall clock in the town of Stankonia. Yes, we were 100%. We was right there at the clock. We were right there in the town of Stankonia. Yes, we were. It was terrible.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. The Pistons it was very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Brax, big shout out to the goofies in the chat. It's been a while since I gave y'all a good shout out, man. Appreciate y'all for holding it down and doing what y'all do in the chat, which is absolutely nothing. Thank you, goofies, but not for real. Appreciate y'all. MP13 said them denying the Kawhi deal made it obvious they wanted to leave the door open to trade him, and then telling him to his face the Clippers, the Clipper for life nonsense. So they are just clearly lying to his face. So he should ask for a no trade clause.
I would
They-
never. So I would never give anybody a no trade clause. Under no circumstance would I ever give a player a no trade clause.
Why?
As a business,
Because if
yeah, I don't think it makes
that's
sense.
just a bad move. Like if I want to trade you, I'm going to trade you. I don't care.
And as a player, I don't want to live in Portland.
No, like
How
that's
about
why. No,
that?
the
Well, then
players.
don't- well, then
the
don't-
players
well, then don't
asking
come-
for it
then don't
makes
come
sense,
here.
but the
But I'm
business.
not
also
giving you
not
But I'm
giving
not. That's the
them.
problem, Ox. I'm not coming to Portland because I actually live in Phoenix, and I got to move to Portland.
Regardless,
I don't wanna live
regardless,
there.
regardless.
I don't
if
wanna
I'm-
live in
if I'm-
Minnesota.
If I'm the front office in Phoenix, Minnesota, Miami, Charlotte, Houston, New York, I'm not giving you a no trade clause. That's what I'm saying.
As a business, it doesn't make sense, but as a player, it makes sense to want one. But like the
Absolutely.
Wizards, everyone's saying Wizards Bradley Beal. That's what I was going to bring up. For Bradley Beal, it makes sense to get a no trade clause because then you control where you go. Cool. For the Wizards, it made absolutely no sense to give him a no trade clause, and they ended up only being able to send him to Phoenix because that's the only place he wanted to go. You limit what you can get. So as a business, it doesn't really make much sense, especially when the player, no disrespect, is Paul George or Bradley Beal. Like it's not like you're giving LeBron James a no trade clause. Like, kind of not want to give you a no trade clause, no disrespect.
Right.
But yeah, it makes sense to offer. It makes sense for Paul George to ask for one because we've seen how the Clippers did Blake Griffin. Like they did Blake Griffin wrong on a personal level. They did him wrong. So it makes sense. We've seen how they've treated their franchise guys before. I understand it, but I can also understand from the Clippers' perspective. I'm not giving you more than what I gave Kawhi, and I ain't give Kawhi a no trade clause. So I'm damn sure not giving you one. But
Did
if
the
that's
Sixers
the
give him one?
no, but he got 4 years, 212. So he's
With
like,
reason too, by the way, they didn't give Kawhi.
so like it make
Good
like
reason.
I say it makes sense. Paul George wants a no trade clause. Cool. He didn't get one. That makes sense too. He wanted 4 years, 212. The Clippers absolutely were not going to give him that. Cool.
So
Someone
Chill,
did. So he got what he
Chill,
wanted. Everyone's happy.
It's for good reason that they didn't give Kawhi no trade clause.
Mm.
But with Paul George, they should have gave him one.
No, you can ask for it, sure. Hey Ox, I could ask for $200. That don't mean you're gonna get it to me. I mean, what the hell? I mean,
Hey, I gotta ask you guys: does Kawhi Leonard have any value on the trade market?
to be honest,
If
with
Zach
you,
LaVine has no
Certain
value,
teams.
Kawhi Leonard should have marginal value.
with that
from a-
contract laws at $53 million,
Yeah,
wow, who
'Cause
is taking that?
yeah. In order to like, if you didn't have to match salaries for trades, I think Kawhi would have value because a good
Sure.
enough team would just offer a trade and then would just rest him and then bring him in for the playoffs. But because you have to match salaries, in order what you'd have to give up to get Kawhi would end up meaning you need Kawhi to play in order for your team to have success,
Right.
which would mean trading for Kawhi is probably not a very good thing to do. So no, I think any 50 million plus contracts are going to be borderline immovable unless you're one of the 10 best players in the world. I don't think we're going to be in a world where we're seeing. I know Paul George just got 50 million, but I think that's going to be borderline immovable in about 2 years. Brandon Ingram saying he wants $200 million. Those contracts aren't going to exist anymore. I don't think, personally. I know France just got 5 years, 220 something.
220.
But like for the young guys, it makes more sense than like these 29, 30-year-olds. I don't think you're going to be seeing 50 million for them. For like
You don't think BI's worth that?
At 28
4 years,
old?
200 million?
You guys don't think he's worth that?
Not with the way the CBA is designed. No.
So what contract should he be asking for, or should he be expecting?
Oh, expecting is a different. No.
It goes back to what you just said. If
I think he'd probably
it's not,
command
it's not a matter of what you
30, 35 million on the market, probably. I don't 50 is because the first apron is what 170 something, 179, something like that. You give BI 50 million, that's like nearly a third of your cap. BI, respectfully, isn't going to be worth any good team's third of their cap. Like Jokic, it makes sense. AD, it makes
At
sense.
least not in
LeBron,
2
it makes
years, he
sense.
won't.
Yeah, like Jason Tatum, it makes sense. Wemby, when he gets it, it's going to make sense. Luka is going to make sense. Brandon Ingram, I think what the CBA has done is the top players are going to get what they deserve. The 18th to the 36th best player in the league, they're probably going to get less than they would have got 5 years ago because you can't justify giving them 45 million with the current CBA. So they're going to end up taking less, which is going to be unfortunate for them. I don't think they're going to be making as much money as they used to. So Yeah, I don't think BI's going to be getting 50
And
million.
on top of that, I think we're under the impression that everybody deserves a max deal. No, everybody doesn't. That's probably the biggest issue that I have. Like when Paul George signs for 212 and OG Anunoby signs for 212, Cade Cunningham, which I actually like that contract, and it's a lot of incentive base, but at least what they're doing is, they got a direction. But not everybody, and when we talk about a max deal, we're talking about 200 million. Now, the max of what they are worth is different between what the team can pay. Those two things are not the same. So if a guy ends up signing a max deal for, I don't know, like 120, okay, that's as far as the Golden State Warriors are willing to go with Jordan Poole. They probably could have paid him more, but that's as far as what they were willing to go.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't know if he's worth 200. I'm just saying a lot of guys got paid this summer. But also too, and obviously the CBA is different now. We've lived in a world where in an NBA world where the last 10 years, dudes who were borderline all-stars or not even all-stars, the Mike Conleys of this world, getting the biggest contract in the NBA. We've kind of been led to believe that dudes like Brandon Ingram are automatically qualified for, a max contract. So that's why I'm surprised. Like, oh, he's not worth that.
That Mike Conley stuff will never happen ever again under this new CBA. Ever again. Like the CBA, like I might be wrong. This CBA seems like it was designed just to make sure the KD Warriors never happens again.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And what is done, it seems like I hate every part of this CBA. I think it's a disgrace. But they've tried so hard to make sure that never happens again. I think they've handicapped team building and keeping teams together and stuff. Like the only team that's done it is Boston, and I mean, their owner sold the team. Like I don't think any owner's trying to pay the amount that they're trying to make these teams pay to keep guys together. So I think it was a horrible CBA.
That second apron is ridiculous, man. Crazy. I mean, how can you operate under that? And again, I understand to your point, Moss, that we can't have Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry on the same team. We can't have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on the same team again. All right, okay, we can't have that. But damn, I mean, that second apron basically wrecks anything that you're trying to do moving forward. Anything that you're trying to do. So I can only sign my free agents, no MLEs. It's a hard cap. I can't go into the buyout market. I can't do any of that. I'm basically stuck right here. Meanwhile, everybody else can do that. Wow, man.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I blame Grant Williams and Garrett Temple.
I blame CJ McConnell.
Oh, and CJ as well.
CJ is the one who's been the most outspoken about how he feels about the Warriors too. So I feel he had his fingerprints all over this.
Well, no, aren't those are the representatives for the players?
Mm-hmm. CJ,
yeah, CJ the president.
Grant Williams.
Yeah,
CJ isn't Grant Williams and Garrett Temple like
vice presidents? Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown is vice president too. I believe.
Blame all of them.
Jaylen Brown made sure to get his $300 million before the CBA.
Yes, he did, Mars.
Come on, man.
100%.
Come on, man.
Well, he is the smartest NBA player in the league.
Remember when they
could have went to MIT.
Remember when pre-draft they said that Jaylen Brown would be too smart for the NBA and that was hurting his stock?
I mean, like they trying to. He basically could work for NASA right now if he wanted to. He could just leave the NBA and go work for NASA.
Yeah, there was like, he might be too smart for the NBA. Like,
bro, literally turned down MIT to go play.
Well, that boy need to learn how to write with his left hand too.
For what?
Oh, here we go.
But I do want to say though, it's gonna be interesting to see how teams like really navigate through like this new CBA and what's like the new structure to build essentially a championship team. And I'm talking about outside of Boston because Boston kind of built their team before this and it just happened to transfer over to this. But it's gonna be curious to see how, let's just say the Hornets, for instance. What do the Hornets do to now build up a team like that? What do the Spurs do? They got Wemby. How do you guys now maximize that with the new CBA? How do the Rockets build? They got a bunch of young talent. What do they do? It's just going to be interesting. How do the Celtics actually stay on top? I'm curious to see what the next like blueprint of successful teams looks like under this, current conditions. We got a couple super chats, y'all. So let's go ahead and do that. Drink More Water said, in football, usually the college game is 5 to 10 years ahead of the NFL game. The current NFL equals early 2010s Chip Kelly Oregon Ducks football offense, which was crazy too, by the way. Shout out the Ducks. And then he said, why is it so different in basketball? I don't know why college basketball is so far behind the NBA.
Is it behind?
I would say so. Yeah.
The product.
Some of it's to do with the game's slower. They only just went to a 30-second shot clock, right?
Yeah.
Before it was 35. Like, I think part of it's that. I think, and I might be wrong because I don't know a lot about college football, but I think one and done's kind of hurts the college basketball products because you don't get to build like an identity with a bunch of players. Whereas in college football, I believe most guys stay for 3-4 years.
You have to be in order to go to the NFL. You got to be 3 years removed from your high school, from your senior class.
So I would assume that plays a part in it too.
Right.
So those two things would be the biggest deal. And also, most college coaches are just very old people. So
and they stay at their jobs for a long time.
Yeah, like there's a lot of just you stay around.
But when you say behind, is that another word for saying better? Like, is that another?
Not with the times. You're not with the times. So
it's not.
It's like
it hasn't. Yeah, like,
hasn't caught up with the times.
Yeah.
But if
you can say you prefer it, which
maybe
is
it
fine,
shouldn't. Maybe it
not.
shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't catch up.
Yeah, that's fine. You can say you can say you prefer it, like
Mm.
having a low post presence and the sets they run and all. Like you can say you prefer it, but when I do watch college basketball, you can see that they clearly haven't bought into the analytics like the NBA has.
Thank
the
God.
spacing. Yeah, that's why. Like once again, it's preference. You can prefer it, but that's what he means when he says it's behind. Like the NBA seems to be setting the trends for college, whereas the reverse seems to be true in the NFL, where college sets the trends for the NFL. So I think college is a good brand of basketball if you don't compare it to the NBA. Like if you expect to just watch college and be like, this isn't the NBA, then I think you're going to be disappointed. But if you take it for what it is, which is a more old school approach to basketball, you're going to see like more traditional point guards, a low post presence. You're going to see teams utilize the dunker spot and all of like and off ball sets. You're going to see floppy action. You don't see floppy in the NBA anymore. Like those things, you're going to see that. But like if you hold it to NBA standards, I'm like, what is this spacing or why is it so slow or whatever the case? So it's just about preference at the end of the day. But I think that's why it is behind because of the things I said.
And to piggyback on that too, first off, I do want to say college is a beautiful brand of basketball, and I actually think it's a more fundamentally sound brand of basketball, and you learn more about the game and how to play the game and just be more of a cerebral player by playing in college. But the reason why college isn't the NBA and the NBA isn't college is, first off, you got to look at the three-point line. Now, the college three-point line just got pushed back a little bit, but when you have dudes shooting from the logo and the hash mark up by on the sideline, the spacing is going to be ridiculous. When you got dudes like KD spacing the floor at 6'10", it's just the game automatically opens up. Obviously, the NBA has better athletes. They have better players. They're more skilled. When you're more skilled, a coach can't really put a dude like Kyrie Irving in a box. You've seen what he did in college. Like Kyrie Irving was one of the players where he came and Coach K was like, yo, do what you want to do because you're that good to do that. College the talent level isn't that high. So when the talent level isn't that high, when you don't just got 5 dudes that can either A, stretch the floor out, or 2 or 3 guys that can put the ball on the floor and get whatever they want, whenever they want, you have to now have a system. You have to run an offense. You have to move the ball, move without the ball, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So that's essentially one of the reasons why college isn't the NBA. And then the spacing is a bigger thing too. And then just kind of how Mars said as well, it's just traditions. Once you have a program and you have a philosophy with that program year after year after year, and you built up and established a winning tradition there, you're more than likely going to go with what has worked, because if it's not broke, you're probably not going to fix it.
I have not been a fan of college basketball for quite some time. And one of the main reasons is that a lot of these guys, we don't get to grow up with them. They bounce early. And we don't get to watch them for long enough for them to anticipate them being great pros. Now, there's some guys, like I've mentioned in the past, that don't really need to go to school. But you know, the Jaime Jaquez's and the Dalton Connects of the world are far and few between. So because of that, there are few guys who are pro ready, and the offense hasn't caught up because those guys, again, a lot of this stuff is thinking, and a lot of these kids that's coming into the league aren't that advanced in terms of paying attention, or understanding exactly what offenses are. So,
Our college basketball.
I haven't really watched college basketball that much in years. Like you're
I
the
was
one.
watching for the prospects.
Ox was the one who turned me on to Jaime Jaquez, and I ain't find out about him until almost his senior year.
I found about him on draft night.
I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention this year to college hoops. So, chat, for those of you who like college basketball, we're gonna be tapped in a little bit more.
I ain't watching that shit.
y'all absolutely
Get out of here.
I'm not watching that shit.
Why don't y'all like college basketball?
I don't like the fact that, I mean, for me, I'm not watching it until I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm the exact opposite of Ox. Ox likes it for the old school approach, the tried true tradition of what basketball is. Man, fuck that. There's no reason why the high school game is replicating the pro game more than college, and you're supposed to be getting these guys ready to go pro. Now, in some situations, I do feel like it is important for a guy to go into a system where he does learn to be off ball, do dirty work things, do all these other things that will turn you into a good pro. That's fine. But in a lot of situations you can bring up, guys go into these situations and they are put in the box and stripped of everything they can do, and it hurts them. Some guys do get put in situations where it legit strips them of being who they are as basketball players, and they're not able to show that until you get your pro day. You get your.
Why you think that is? Why you think that is, Dom? Why you think
because
that
these
is,
coaches, because college is ran by, especially these tried true programs, is ran by the coaches in the system.
Blue blood schools.
These coaches have their imprint on what they want to do, how they see the game, how they want the game to go. A lot of these coaches have these coaching philosophies from the 2000s, 90s, and 80s, and you know, they're stuck in their ways and they don't want to change. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely fine. I just don't think guys should end up going to these schools. That's how I feel. And then when you do see guys that end up going to these schools and just betting on themselves, they'll go to a lesser known program in terms of their tradition compared to the top schools where guys will go to get drafted. And they're able to do their thing and still get drafted, lottery, top 5 or whatever it is.
But that's not what college basketball is supposed to be for. It's not about getting you ready to go pro. Most of these guys aren't going. I'm talking about the guys that are trying to go pro. I'm not talking about colleges. I'm talking about the guys that are trying to go pro. That's what I can dig that. I can dig that. But I'm saying if you say with a college ball, why wouldn't it replicate the NBA? Because it's not meant to be the NBA. It's not. Most of these guys aren't going to the NBA. So why would all these Division I, Division II, all these NC2A schools? Why would they be playing? Why would you be playing it? Why would it be an NBA version when most of these guys aren't going to the NBA? The thing about it is we get confused and forget that it's not all about the NBA. Most of these dudes aren't going to the NBA. So since let's say 40 of them, 40 of these guys that are playing NC2A basketball are going to the NBA. Why are we changing this into an NBA style? Which I keep saying, these guys aren't going to the league. 40 of them are, and the rest of them are not. Okay. So the NC2A is not about gearing you up for the NBA. So that's why it's like, okay, it's fine. You don't gotta like it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But the thing is, it's not about the NBA. The NBA is not the end all be all.
So that's absolutely fair. But at least the game should at least resemble what we have going on in our country. And again, that's why I brought that's yes. And what I'm saying is, these kids growing up are playing basketball in a specific way in middle school, high school, AAU levels. Their whole lives they're playing the game. They're playing the game similar to the NBA product. I'm not saying just change college basketball in a semi-NBA, but if these guys are growing up with basketball being played a certain way, I feel they should play. The college should adapt a little bit to what the new generation is bringing to the game of basketball. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying just sit there and let everybody shoot from the logo. I'm not sitting there saying eliminate the big man game and let all your bigs come down dribbling up the court trying to be Wemby. But damn, it shouldn't be a situation where and again, I'm always bring up Kyler Perry and what he did with that one and done system in Kentucky. There should be no reason why guys like Bam, Cat, or whoever it is have these skills and they're put in situations where they can't use any of them. You're just going to put this guy who plays one way, remove everything he does, and tell him to be Willie Cauley-Stein. That's crazy. Now they look limited, but then you go and they're about to get drafted, and teams find out, oh, damn, Bam can play make. Oh, damn, Bam can shoot. Oh, damn, Bam has all these aspects of his game that he was not allowed to do in college. That's my issue. When guys get a guy who's allowed to, that's what
so
that's whack. What do you mean scouts are for?
So,
y'all want the NCAA to change what they're doing for the NBA, and it just doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense, Ox? Well, first of all,
because it's not about the NBA.
Yes, it is, Ox.
No, it's not. 40
right here.
You will go.
Oh my God, this shit is making me nuts that I'm sitting here listening to this bullshit. This is exactly bullshit. The reason why, because if you got 400
you have to go
430 players, we got over 430 plus players in the NBA. Where are the NBA getting their players from?
I didn't bring
Where are the NBA getting their players from?
They're getting from all over the world.
40 of them. Most of them got 40 of them. Okay, 40 of them per year. 40 of them per year.
And how many kids are in the NCAA? How many thousands of kids playing in NCAA?
But that's the problem with that is that's just guys who get drafted. We ain't talking about the guys who are undrafted.
And then they go play overseas.
And not just
but
overseas.
They're still playing real basketball.
Not just overseas, but they also play in the G League, where they came from college. A lot of these guys. All of these guys in the G League didn't come from overnight elite and shit like that. No, they did not. And number two, to Damo's point, these coaches are trying to keep their jobs. They're trying to keep their jobs, and in the process of them keeping their jobs, they playing Bam. Coach Calipari is playing Bam the way he sees fit. Does that work for me? Hell no, because I feel like you holding him back. You absolutely are.
This is an elitist mindset. What y'all are trying to spew is an elitist mindset.
No, it's not an elitist mindset.
That's 100% what it is.
Fellas, we got one mic.
Y'all want to derail all of these guys just for the sake of these 25 guys. And it's crazy.
All of what guys? My point is, hold on.
Everybody, they're trying to teach these kids how to play basketball, and y'all want them to mimic what they're doing.
So
in the
then
NBA.
give guys scholarships that fits the role you want them to play. That's my point.
That's a part of basketball, and that's the problem. That's the problem. No, because that's what's wrong with this. That's what's wrong with the NBA. That's why we always got to deal with this guy can't do this. This guy can't do that because he didn't go to college and learn how to play basketball. That's the problem.
Listen, please listen.
He didn't learn how to play basketball.
Listen.
Because y'all want them to do that bullshit they doing in the NBA.
They're not
learning how to play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Damo. Go ahead, Damo.
Again, I'm not talking about.
I'm spitting right now, Ron. Why should I stop spitting?
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
You're not listening to me no more.
For Kid to go nuts.
No one is bringing up the NBA. Remove the NBA. Remove the guys drafted. Take the NBA off the table. We are not talking about NBA. Okay, and hear me out. I do like good pure basketball. But my point is, if I am Coach Calipari, in my system, I want a rim running big who's going to set screens, protect the rim, run backboard to backboard, and that is his role. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go give a scholarship to a guy that plays that role. I am not going to go. And I am not going to get a kid that does everything, get him on my team and say, all right, bet, strip 80% of your game. You're just going to do this 20% I want you to do. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a kid that fits what I want and teach him freaking basketball. I'm going to make him a better player. I'm going to get a guy that does that. And on the side, I'm going to allow you to try to build your game. I'm not going to take some kid, whether he wants to go pro, whether he wants to be a teacher, whether he wants to go overseas, and change who he is.
You're not screwing him up. You're teaching him how to play basketball.
I'm not saying screw him up.
No, you're not.
Yes,
I'm just saying I'm not going to limit him.
More of these kids get screwed up. More of these kids get screwed up, Ox, than they actually learn how to play basketball. More of these kids do. Yes, they do. Let me tell you why. The prime example would be what Damo just got talking about. Well, I don't know that Bam can handle a basketball like that. I don't know that Bam is that good of a transition player. I don't know that Bam is that good of a finisher. I didn't know that. And you know why I don't know that? Because that's not the way he was used. That's not the way he was used at Kentucky. Maybe if he was used differently, he wouldn't have been the 14th pick in the draft.
Then you got to get better scouts.
He probably would have been high. No, that has nothing to do with it.
You got to get better scouts. It is. I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to kill y'all whole logic real quick. Let me cook y'all for the hard way. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, Chip. When a guy is a prospect like that, don't think that college coaches are the only one watching him. NBA scouts know who they want to draft. They know who they're looking at 2 years before that. They see these kids in high school too. If you think for 1 second that let's take Boogie or anybody you want, any big you want. If you think that the first time that these NBA scouts saw him play was with Coach Calipari, because if Calipari's looking at you, the NBA is looking at you too. So if they know the skill set of these guys, Nas Reed, they knew what Nas could do when he was dribbling all do that in high school, but then they want to know, when you go to college, can you adapt? Are you coachable? Can you only play one way? So if you're telling me we're supposed to be coddling kids and not forcing them to learn something, Chill, and I'm shame on you, Chill. Shame on you. Because you are the one who said, stop just trading these kids, stop bailing them out, make them get better. So why not? Why is that? Why is it different with college? Is it because y'all don't like to watch it?
Because they're not teaching them. They are
teaching them. They are teaching them. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem right now. Hold on. Let me finish real quick. Let me finish real quick, Chill. I'm almost done. What I'm saying is this, Chill. It's crazy to think that these guys are supposed to be NBA prospects, but I can't put them in my system and have him do this. Why? Because he's better at dribbling from the three. That means I can't put him on the block and help him expand his game. That is the definition of teaching. Me putting you in an uncomfortable situation for you to get better. So that's why these prima donnas are in the NBA talking that same dumb shit Paul George was talking about. Oh, we got rid of Robert Covington, so now I had to do stuff, and that's just not my role. Because you want to be babied and told, oh, you're perfect at this, keep doing that. Don't get better. Don't get better. When let's change up everything. Let's change up everything for these other 1,000 kids, for these 25 that are going to the NBA. That's the craziest shit I ever heard.
Okay, first of all, number one, these 25 kids that
Head
are
on
going
spike.
these 25 kids that are going to the NBA, they're probably the reason why I'm going to keep my job. That's number one. Number two, you as a college coach, you as a coach on any level, your job is to advance me. That's your job. Your job is to, whatever I know how to do, let's advance that. Your job isn't to screw me up, because I've said this to you in the past. Anybody can train a secretary. You can screw them up too. And more of these college coaches have screwed these kids up more than they've advanced them, because they're trying to turn them into something else than what they actually are. If you have a six, it's not that they're not coachable. It's that you don't know how to coach them. You think your way is the only way. And because your way you think is the only way, that's why these guys leave. Not only that's why these guys leave. I'm not against coaching. I'm not against hard coaching, but it has to be to my benefit. If you don't know what you're doing, and I recognize that you don't know what you're doing, why the hell should I stay around you? Because all you're going to do is screw me up. And a coach like John Calipari, who is preaching you being a pro, your job is to help me be a pro. So whatever I know how to do, we have to enhance that. We have to make that better. Don't try to turn me into something that I'm not, because what you're going to do is you're going to screw me up, which is the reason why I didn't come here. The reason why I came here is so you can help me get to where I'm going, not because you can turn me into what you think that I should be. No, make sure that we're clear on one thing. When I came here to whatever school that I came here because you saw me. I didn't call you, you called me. So it's your job to help me get to where I'm trying to go. Not my job is to help you just win games. I don't know if you know this, Ox, but I got dreams like you do too. And my dreams aren't just to help you win basketball games.
Well, Chill. Actually, though,
go to G League Ignite then.
Here's the thing, though, too. Let's not act like these 5-star recruits don't have access to go to any institution they want to. And they can go overseas. They're choosing, that's 100% on. Now, the first couple bigs that went to Kentucky, I'll give it to them. Maybe they didn't know that Cal was going to do that. Anybody after them first couple bigs, you've seen what Cal did to these other guys. You made the decision to go over there. You don't have to go and play
to the NBA. What do you do?
You don't have to go play for Coach Cal, especially if you've seen what he's done with other bigs. If you know that he's not going to unleash you, then don't go there.
Now wait a minute, Ron. Don't make
Hey, yo,
I give you that.
It's plenty coaches that run a pro style offense. I watched Lorenzo Romar at University of Washington run a pro style offense for 15 years. That's why you put Brandon Roy in the league. That's why you put guys like DeJounte Murray in the league. That's why you put guys that you may not even know of, like Tony Roten in the league, because he got to go out there and play an N1 style. That's why Markelle Fultz was drafted #1 overall, because he went and played for Lorenzo Romar, because he knew Lorenzo Romar would let them do whatever they wanted to in a pick and roll style offense. These kids got the opportunity to go do what they want to do. They want to go play for these high profile coaches. They want to go play for these traditional schools. They want to go play for Coach K when he was at Duke.
Wait a minute, though, Ron. Why do you think these guys are doing that, though? Do you think I just want to go to Kentucky because it's Kentucky? That's not the way it is anymore. No, that's not the way it is anymore. It's John Calipari sitting in my living room in front of my mother. It's Roy Williams sitting in front of my living room with my mother going, "I'm going to change this for you. This is what I'm going to tell you."
But he does do that.
This is what I'm going to allow you to do, only to find out that that's not what it is when I get there. That's not the case.
Hold on, no, chill.
About your man up in University of Seattle, I'm going to give you the ball and I'm going to turn you loose. If he gives me the ball and I'm going to turn me loose, well, of course I'm going there. Of course he's going to help me advance my game.
Calipari would turn them loose if they were the only 5-star on the team. When you go, and that's another thing. You can't, that's on these recruits. When you go to Alabama, it's a chance that if you are a 5-star quarterback, you might not play till your senior year. You might not start a single game because it's a 5-star quarterback coming in every single year. When you go and play, that's why old boy didn't get drafted. Mars, what's his name? The lefty from Kentucky?
Justin Edwards.
He went and played with a bunch of other dogs and 5-star recruits. He didn't have to go to Kentucky. He could have took his ass to Florida University and averaged 25 if he wanted to. He wanted to go play with Coach Calipari. Coach Calipari probably did tell him, but even whether he told him or not, you wanted to go play with them dogs. That's your problem. You could have went and been the man at whatever university, any Big Ten school. Yo, he could have been like Scottie Pippen Jr. and went to Vanderbilt.
But we're getting
he could have been like Thon Maker and went and played for Howard University.
But
he could have went wherever he wanted to.
But we're getting off the point here, and the point is that college basketball is different today because these guys don't stick around, and the fact that these guys don't stick around and they go to the NBA, which is the farm system for the NBA college basketball. That's where these that's where the NBA gets their players from. And the fact that they're not learning the game like Ox wants them to learn the game is because we're in an accelerated process. Everything is right now. There's no reason for me to stay in school for a year. There's no reason for me to even go to college. And I'm not learning the game. So the Ox, to your point, when you talk about a guy that I already know for a fact that I'm going to the NBA because you've seen me in high school. Well, why do I really have to work? I'm already going to the NBA, and by the time I get there, I'm probably not going to learn how to play anyway. As opposed to when I'm in college.
That's the problem right there, Chill.
When I'm in college, which is the actual farm system for the NBA, because that's where we get our players from. When I'm in college and I play for somebody who can actually teach me the game, and I am more equipped, like Jaime Jaquez, you see a different product.
Right, but that's what I mean. Because Jaime Jaquez is coachable, wanted to get better, went to UCLA and learned a lot of these dudes, and that's what I'm saying. See what Damo said about high school and AAU. That's because these kids are it's commercialized. These kids are able to transfer whenever they want. They're not forced to stay and get better. They're not forced to be coachable. They're not forced to learn because somebody told them they're going to the NBA because they were 6'10" their sophomore year. So now I'm the shit. I don't got to do nothing. I'm not worried about this. I'm not going to be coachable. That's why these same kids get to the NBA and we forget about them in 2 or 3 years because they didn't get better. They didn't learn how to adapt. They didn't learn how to evolve their game. They should have kept their ass in college and learned from these coaches on how to play basketball. But no, this college system is too boring. It's not good basketball. Can you believe they're actually throwing? What somebody say in the post? What did somebody say in the chat? Oh, they're actually going to swing. What did he say? 5 skip passes or 5 swing passes. Move the ball. Nobody wants to learn how to play basketball. That's okay though. Like I mean, it's so obvious to me. But once again, we look at this game like fans and want it to be how we want it to see instead of understanding that these people are doing something that maybe we just don't understand.
No,
Ox, we've sat here a plethora of times on this same platform saying the youth level coaching needs to improve. Parents are ruining these kids by sitting there feeding their egos and all that. So I agree with you there. No one is saying that on the youth level, guys should not be putting better efforts and have better coaching around them to develop their skills. I'm just saying the game itself, it resembles the pro game. And that has, I don't think that has anything to do with the coaches telling these guys X, Y, and Z. You can have good coaches and you're still going to allow your guy to be who he is. My whole point, and again, remove the NBA shit off the table. Remove getting the college game to look like the NBA. So my whole point is just, I don't believe, no matter who the coach is, no matter what the program is, getting a guy that does X, Y, and Z, you getting him to your school, telling him he's going to do X, Y, and Z, and he gets there and find out, oh, I'm just doing A and B. That's whack. I would rather you just find kids that do A and B. That just feels better. And, whoa, no sketch. And Ron, I'm not gonna lie to you. I 100% agree. These kids should do a better job of choosing these colleges. You shouldn't go to these restrictive ass systems. I agree. We had this conversation when I said, hell, I'd rather somebody be like Colin Sexton, Trae Young, and Kate Cunningham and go to a lesser known program so you can be who you are on the court to get drafted versus me being Rob Dillingham, having the talent that I have, and then I go to Calipari and now coming off the bench behind people I should be starting over.
DJ says you. Yeah, you should be starting over. Says you. What I'm saying is the mindset that you and Chill are trying to put out there is what's ruining the game.
My mindset of getting a guy that does the job that you want as a coach is ruining the game.
Yes, not one.
Damo, I get what you're saying, but also too. Okay, so let's say I need a big dirty work guy. Rebounds and play defense.
If I'm Drummond type for my offense, you know who I'm going to go get? I'm going to scout Thomas Robinson. I'm going to scout Andre Drummond. You know who I'm not going to go get? James Wiseman. And tell him to come from my program and beat Andre Drummond.
That's the thing, though. But that's the thing. And this is also a thing about the college game, too, that is flawed. College it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, too. You want to get boosters you want to get your fans involved. You want to get your fans hyped. Because you got to sell tickets. You want to get the boosters involved. You want to get people excited about your program. You also want to have access to the best available players. When a 5-star comes and says they want to play for you, I've never seen it. And keep in mind, I'm not on the recruiting circuit. I'm not in these D1 facilities and all of that stuff. I'm not on their culture staff. I'm almost positive that very few people are going to turn down a Khalil Ware when he says I wants to go there. I'm very sure a lot of these programs are going to be like, yo, you know what, Jared McCain, we just don't want you to come over here because of X, Y, and Z. You know what, DJ Wagner, you can go elsewhere. Damo, when these 5-star recruits, you get 5-star recruits dime a dozen as the D1 program. Them dudes are when they want to come to your school, you're rolling out the red carpet for them. And I get what you're saying. You may need Andre Drummond, but if the other guy that shoots threes and likes to dribble and all of that wants to come to your program, you have to. It's just you got to do it.
I think the thing we are leaving out is the fact that these coaches, they are trying to keep their job and they're selling these kids.
And that's another thing too.
They selling these kids, a lot of them selling these kids pipe dreams. That, yo, this is what you're going to be when you come here, only to find out that they telling the same thing to this other kid. Calipari told DJ Wagner that DJ Wagner was going to be this, only to also tell Dillingham, yo, you're going to be this too. And DJ didn't realize that, yo, I was going to have to compete against this dude. He thought that he was just going to walk in, Calipari was going to give him the ball, and he was going to get busy, only to find out that the guy behind him was better. As a coach, coaches do this all the time. And I understand that that's part of recruiting. I understand that that's part of competition. I have no problem with that. But if that's what it is, sell me that. Like, yo, I'm also recruiting this dude. This is who you're going to be going up against. And now I have the choice of, okay, maybe I don't want to go there. Maybe I'm going to go play here where I'm going to have a better opportunity to showcase my skill. But also, maybe I do want to go there because I want to go up against the best. Sell that instead of you telling me you're the only guy that's on my page. You're the only guy that's on our radar. We're going up against you. And then I walk into school and it's 3 other dudes like me.
Well, chill.
And also we don't hear about the stories of the kids who are getting sold this. They go to a program and it don't work out. And we just don't hear from them because that is a reality. There's the same way Ox is saying, oh, there's 1,000 kids that are playing in these systems. We're going to change the game to mess them up. There's literally hundreds of kids who do things at great levels and could have had an opportunity, but they get these coaches, and it might not be Calipari, but it's the damn coach for the University of Florida that's going to these houses and telling these kids to come down to my program. I'm gonna make something out of you, and they get there, and you're telling Cat to be drumming, and it don't work out, and now this kid dream dies because he could have went somewhere where he could actually showcase his talent. He could have showed something. That's really what I'm stressing about. I know people who genuinely went through that. Niggas' hoop dreams died because they listened to some coach at some D1 program that promised them, sat in front of their mama and promised them, I'm going to get your son drafted. And he goes out there and they got him competing against guys. They got him playing styles of basketball he don't play, and it hurts them. But we don't hear his story. All we see is Bam, and we say, oh, well, I mean, it made Bam better, so, hey, it works. Oh, it made Cat better, so, hey, it works. But you don't hear about the stories of the guys where it didn't work. They didn't go to some high-tier program, but they got sold the same pipe dream, and now they got to work, and now they got to go do whatever else because their dreams died. And that's BS. That's why I'm saying this. Everyone is saying, oh, Ox is cooking. Dom, you bugging. I would take the guy. Man, it's not about the 1%. It's not about the top 100. It's about the guys after that. It's about the dudes you don't know who are still great, who are still good, that could have went to Nebraska to play basketball and been given the keys to show his worth, show his work, and I could have got drafted at 33, and I could have changed my family's life with this opportunity, but I didn't. You want to know why? Because I went down here to be Trae Young, and you trying to make me Jason Kidd. I went down here to be LeBron, and now you got me trying to be Dylan Brooks, and that's not who I am, and that hurts my stock because I'm not some 5-star recruit. I'm a 3-star. The scouts aren't looking at me. I have to go here to prove my worth, and I can't prove my worth because I'm being played out of position. So guess what? My dream dead. Now I'm not a hooper no more.
Damo, what I do want to say is, Damo and Chill, I mean, and I'm not saying it's right, but what is recruiting? It's gonna be like recruiting is literally like me persuading you to come here. So I
selling dreams.
Exactly. It's things are gonna be sugar coated. It may be some lies told, and once again, I'm not saying it's right, but hey, how many of y'all done recruited a chick and lied to her? Hands up in the chat.
Never.
You see what I'm saying? Hey,
never.
Maybe not you.
Never.
Maybe not you. Maybe not you. Maybe not you.
A lot of these women.
Maybe not you, Damo. But if we were to go through the chat, I would say a good 80% of dudes have sold a chick. I don't want to say a crazy dream, but you'd have told a lie or two. That's what recruiting is. You sugarcoat things. You lay it on a little heavier, and that's just what it is. But also, what I'm gonna say to that is, like we've talked a lot about Coach Cal, and here's what I do want to say about Coach Cal. With the Rob Dillingham and DJ Wagner situation, once again, both of them young brothers seen that the other person somebody had to sign before the other person. So I don't know who signed first. Let's just say it was Rob that signed first, and then DJ signed after Rob, and I think that was actually the case. Mm-hmm. DJ knew that Rob was already there. He knew he was going to have to come and compete against Rob. DJ didn't have to sign that letter of intent. Also, too, when DJ did sign, Rob had the opportunity to transfer because he knew that he was going to directly compete against DJ Wagner. Rob could have been like, you know what? I don't want those problems. I'm going to go over here. I'm gonna go play with the rival team or go elsewhere. On top of that, here's also my thing, too. These dudes got the transfer portal. You don't gotta play if the coach has a system that's not.
Wasn't always
well, now it is though. Now it wasn't.
The transfer portal is worse, Ron. It's making it worse.
Well, I'm saying though, like we're talking about coaches that don't have systems that is good for your game. That's why the transfer portal's there. Now you can go wherever you want to. You can literally talk to whatever coach you want, figure out whatever system's best for you, and go play for that system. So it's like and right now it's no excuse when it comes to players picking schools because they have carte blanche to do whatever you want to do.
And Kyle ain't sold dreams to Rob Dillingham or anyone or DJ Wagner. He gave because DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards were their biggest recruits, and Aaron Bradshaw. he gave Justin Edwards and DJ Wagner the promise of they're gonna start for Kentucky next year. DJ Wagner didn't deserve to start over Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham, but he did. But he did because that was the promise he was given. Now you can say that held Rob Dillingham back and Reed Sheppard back. I mean, I would say the 3rd and 8th pick kind of did okay, but he kept his promise to DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards. Now, did they capitalize on that opportunity? No. DJ Wagner's going back for year 2, and Justin Edwards is on a 2-way with Philly. Played very well last night, by the way. But like, I'm with Ox in the fact that the college game doesn't have to change to cater for the NBA, because the small minority of people who go from college to the league doesn't justify changing it for everyone else. College basketball, for the vast majority of guys who go D1, D2, isn't about A, becoming a pro, or B, definitely about going to the NBA. It's about getting a free education because you're on scholarship. It's about becoming a better man. You're going to be 22 years old, going through all of college for free, getting that education, and you get to play basketball. You come out of it, maybe you started as a senior, maybe I don't know what you did, but you come out of it a better man. It's about discipline. It's about being able to be prepared for the real world outside of basketball for the vast majority of college athletes. It's not, the vast majority isn't Rob Dillingham. The vast majority isn't Reed Sheppard. The vast majority isn't Stephon Castle or whoever. That this college stuff, college basketball, college sports is about preparing you for the real world. And that's what it does for the vast majority of people. If you just let these guys come in and do whatever they want, that's not preparation for the real world. You don't get to do whatever you want in real life. You don't get to do that. You have to be disciplined. Like, even just coming up here, like, we have a set time we have to start. Sometimes we're late, but we have a set time we're meant to start. We're committed to us 3 hours a day, every day. It's not just, I show up when I want, I do what I want. I don't feel like showing up tomorrow for the panel, I'm just not going to show up. No, it's about discipline and building the right habits and all of those things. And that's what college basketball was for. Now, is the style of play a bit old school? Sure. But college isn't just about getting 2 guys on 7 teams to the NBA. There's a bunch of college teams who never have guys who go to the NBA, who their dream is just to make the tournament. Like, what about those guys? Are they meant to? Is the game meant to just change for them too? Like, that's not what college basketball is. Like, it's more than just the 0.1%. And I feel like in life in general, we always like try and change the rules just to cater to the top 0.1%, when there's 99.9% who those rules don't benefit. Like, let's focus on the majority and not the minority. And if those top 0.1% don't like it, that's why overseas is available. That's why the G League Ignite was available. That's why OTE became a thing. It was for an alternative route. But we saw what G League Ignite was. It was a hellhole. But you know what they did? They gave their players freedom. That's one thing they did. Now, did they lose? Did they go 2-28? Yes. But one thing you can say G League Ignite did, whether it was Jalen Green, Scoot Henderson, Matas, Ron Holland, whoever you want to name it, they gave them freedom to do what they do on a basketball court. They gave Ron Holland more responsibility than he'd ever had playing for the G League Ignite. Did it help his stock? Sure. But if that's what you want, that's where you go. You go to the G League. But if you want to be in a professional environment, you want to learn discipline, you want to become a better human, a better man, you go overseas, you go to college. Like, it's about what you want. We can't then change college because Ben Simmons didn't like it. Like, no, we're not changing everything to suit the few. Like, I don't think that's how things should ever work. But yeah, so I'm with Ox in that sense.
Even more on top of that, we're saying 1%. Yo, I just looked it up. It's 5,510 total college basketball athletes. And Ox was probably right. I think I would say about 40 players from college actually go to, and it's probably less than that because there's so many other players coming from overseas and stuff like that. The game has become so worldwide. It might be 30 college basketball players. We'll say anywhere from 30 to 40 come from the college game.
43 of this year's 58. 43.
Okay, so 43 compared to 5,500. Yeah, I just think that's disingenuous. But also, too, I want to take it a step further. I know this is the NBA platform, and I know we talk about the NBA, but for this moment in this conversation alone, in light of these college players and people going to feed their families, fuck the NBA, because it's leagues in Germany that feed people's families. It's leagues in Italy to feed people's families. It's leagues in Spain, Switzerland. These are countries that I know people personally that play in these leagues. China, Japan, you got your South American leagues. Take it to tell you, Canadian basketball, Mexican basketball, it's leagues all around the world, or countries all around the world that have multiple leagues that Americans leave the NCAA, whether it's Division I, and the number that I just gave you, that was just Division I athletes. It's 27,000 total college basketball athletes from JUCO to the pros. And this is females and this is women and men. So I'm saying in the women, they go overseas and make a ton of money too. They make more money over there than they make over here. So I'm saying it's people that go all around the world that get fed from these different leagues. College basketball is more of an indicator of how they're going to play over there than the NBA ever will be. College teaches them how to be successful and have a 8 to 10 year career over there better than the NBA ever would. So
the NBA is the outlier.
Exactly.
The EuroLeague is more modern than college, but it's more similar in terms of the team concepts than the NBA is. Like the NBA is the best players for the most part. It's the best players. Like the top 2 guys on every team in the NBA are the best players in the world. Everyone else, it's just about how you fit your role for the NBA. There's guys playing overseas who are better than guys who are role players in the NBA, but they just don't fit the role the NBA needs from them, so they're playing overseas. So I always hate that the top 450 are in the NBA. No, maybe like the top 75 are in the NBA. The rest are guys who are role players who fit what the NBA requires of them, which is in today's game, shoot threes, play defense, be somewhat switchable. But there's guys overseas who don't do those things at a higher level than a role player in the league, but they are undoubtedly more skilled basketball players than them. They just don't fit what the NBA requires of them, because not everyone gets to be Luka Doncic in the NBA. So you're going to have to be overseas and find your role out there. Like, that's just how it goes. And college is going to prepare guys for that type of style of basketball, team basketball, playing overseas, being in new environments. Like, that's what college is for. Like, the NBA is the outlier. It might be the best league, but it's the outlier for everything else that basketball is about, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah. See, you said 75, because I say that. I said it a lot more. I feel the same way. I usually say like the top maybe 50 guys are in the NBA. Like there's top 50 that just can't be touched. No way. But everybody else is kind of mixed in, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it looks like to me for sure. I know one thing, chill. I know why my people used to send us to summer school. I'm gonna hurt one of these kids.
You better get your ass out the house. And to you guys in the chat, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I just want to put that out there. That's number one. Number two, the 13th man on the Portland Trailblazers is not better than Sasha, who was the EuroLeague MVP. No, he is not. The 12th man on the Charlotte Hornets is not better than the first team all EuroLeague player in Barcelona. He's not better than him. That's just not true. I do understand that because the NBA is quote unquote the best league in the world, right? Because it's the best league in the world, we automatically think that, okay, these are clearly the 430 best players on the planet. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, it's plenty of it's guys in China. There's guys in China. There's guys in Spain that you look at and go, yo, this guy will bust that guy's ass on that Charlotte Hornets roster.
It's like we understand, like, it's like when everyone's like, oh, why is John Wall or Isaiah Thomas or Melo when he was out of the league? Why are they not in the league? They're better than these guys. Yes, John Wall is a better player than guys who are in the league right now. Carmelo, when he was out of the league, was a better player than guys who are in the league. But the NBA is about, if you aren't good enough to where a team wants you to be their main offensive piece, Carmelo in the late stage of his career, John Wall, Isaiah Thomas, then they're going to ask you, how can you be a role player to support our stars? And Carmelo being as bad as he was defensively and not being as great of a spot-up shooter and those things. So all of a sudden, PJ Washington is more valuable than Carmelo Anthony on a winning team. A point guard who can shoot and pass and defend. A Mike Conley is more valuable than a John Wall, or a Tyus Jones is more valuable than Isaiah Thomas. Does that mean that they're automatically just better players? No, it just means they fit what the NBA is asking from them more than those guys who are better players or more talented players. They just don't fit what the NBA is requiring of them. Like the NBA is a league where if you're a role player and you can't shoot, you're gonna struggle. Like there's ways you can make it work, but you're more often than not you're gonna struggle. That doesn't mean just because you can shoot, you're a better player than someone else. It just means you fit what the NBA is asking from you, and that's all it is about. Do you fit the job description? Fitting the job description doesn't mean you're a better player. It just means hey, you meet the requirements. So the NBA isn't just all the best players in the world. The stars, the superstars, the stars, yeah. Outside of that, not necessarily.
All right, y'all. Wasn't expecting to have that debate today, but
you know what happens, Ron? Come on, man. When it's like in practice, a fight could break out in practice at any time. At any time, a fight could break out in practice. Like we could just be doing drills, and the next thing you know, it could get serious. So it happens. That's what we're here for.
That was a good debate, though. I enjoyed that. In the meantime, we got a new member. His name's Lyndon. Y'all show Lyndon some love in the chat. You know, shout him out, man. Appreciate you, Lyndon, for pulling up, becoming a member. Salute to you. And then he also came through with a super chat. He said, I know I'm late on this topic, but they probably had Kawhi in training camp because he will be able to qualify for whatever medal Team USA wins. He technically was part of the team.
Hell no. Hell no. It's no way that Kawhi would accept that medal. It's no way he'd accept that medal.
Did you see what Montrezl Harrell said about Paul George?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Oh, he basically said that I'll read the quote. I don't want to misquote it. It's not great. So they must have been talking about the 2020 playoffs. I'm reading this of reading it verbatim. He said, fast forward and we're in the middle of a game versus Denver. We set up a play. Everybody says they're switching 1 through 5 type shit. Everybody knows the coverage. Then in the game, the situation comes, the pick and roll. It's a pick and roll with PG, Jamal Murray, Jokic, and me. Me is Montrez. Mm-hmm. I yell switch. We switch it. He still fights over the screen. Jokic slips down the middle of the lane, scores. Doc Rivers calls a timeout just like that. On the way to the huddle, I say, bro, that's a switch, P, talking to Paul George. He's like, nah, I thought. He cut him off. And he's like, bro, there ain't no I thought. I said it's a switch. Literally, everybody in this shit knows the coverage but you. Paul George then says, who are you talking to?
You, motherfucker.
Yeah. And then he's like, with that in mind, I told P right then and there in front of the coaches and everybody, I will knock you the fuck out, bro. You're tripping. You was wrong, bro. You're wrong. And anyone who watched that series knows the Clippers got cooked because of their pick and roll defense. Like that's objectively true. So if what Montrez is saying is true, that Paul George was the one who wasn't executing the scheme, wasn't understanding the coverages, and then is not taking accountability for him not understanding the coverages, that's quite damning on Paul George.
Mars, I'm gonna tell you what that's all about, Mars. I'm gonna tell you what that's all about. That's simple as knowing the coverage and blowing the coverage because you don't
want to switch on Jokic.
With Jokic. You don't want to be nowhere near Jokic. So you're purposely blowing the coverage and then blaming it on your teammates because you're running from Jokic.
And we roasted Trez for that. Like he was unplayable in that situation. He couldn't guard at all, which, okay, in some situations, Trez can be a little bunch of a liability. But to know that, all right, this is what we're running. We're doing this. This is part of the plan. And you are purposely going against the plan and then making it look like I'm the problem. That's bullshit. No.
Yeah, and the reason I said it's damning is not because they got into a little kerfuffle in the huddle. That's natural.
Oh, what?
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle.
You never heard of that? You never heard that word?
Yeah,
that sounds like a Pokemon.
It's not because of that. It's because if what Montrez is saying is true, that everyone was on the same page of the coverages, and Paul George clearly went against it. The same man who said he didn't want to do dirty work is now refusing Jokic switches. Interesting. And then when it's time for him to, like, they get back to the huddle, instead of just saying, yeah, it was a switch, that's on me, who you talking to? What do you mean who you talking to? Like, everyone knows it was your fault. What do you mean who you talking to? That's why I say it's damning. Not because they had an argument. It's that lack of accountability, the stuff that he be doing on his podcast. Everything seems to just be not his fault. That's why I say it's kind of damning.
Brian, I tried to tell you, Ron, back then, this is not on Trez. And I didn't know that story, obviously, but I just knew something was up. Like, I just knew Trez wasn't the reason that they was losing that series, bro. I just knew it wasn't on Trez.
Yeah.
But
I
you know,
spoke on
Paul
that
George
series.
remind me of one of them type players like that's always yelling at you like, "Come on, man, I'm right here," or "Go rebound." Like, bro, you rebound, you do something. You know what I'm saying? Always
It's the
just
same. He's
yelling
the
at
same
you.
Paul George who said he didn't like being used as a spot-up shooter in that playoff series. So like everything is just always
using
not
me like-
his fault.
Doc was using me more like Ray Allen.
Yeah, he was using me wrong. Like everything is not his fault. Like he's a very good player, and like I said, I think he's gonna be good in Philly. But the lack of accountability on things that, if not everything is his fault, but on the things that are clearly on him, the way it's just never on him is where I think is kind of damning. I spoke about that series before. I've said the pick and roll is what killed them. I've spoke about him and Kawhi. That pick and roll defense was not good in that series. But if what Montrez is saying is true, that everyone seemed to be on the same page except him, that's damning. Like that's why I say it's damning. And it's always just, it seems to just always be everyone else's fault except his. Doc wasn't using me right. We wasn't on the same page. I asked for this, they didn't give me that. I was done wrong. They got rid of the dirty work guys, so now I have to do it. It's just everything seems to just be against him. Like I don't. At some point, maybe you're the problem.
All right, y'all. Drink more water. Tapped in with the super chat. He said, "I agree with Ox. Another point. Not all 40 of these NBA ready college kids won't become stars or first options. So learning how to play in a system or around others is very beneficial."
Yeah, I mean, in a team sport, it's always beneficial to learn how to play with others, even as a superstar. The Jason Tatum does the dirty work. Like that's one thing he does. He plays defense. He was guarding fives for a large majority of the playoffs. Did Jason Tatum complain once about him having to do that? Jason Tatum's rebounding. Jason Tatum's creating for his teammates. He's playing on the ball. He's playing off the ball. Even when he doesn't score, he does the dirty work. Jokic, he might not be the best defender, but he's boxing out. He's running the floor hard every time down the floor. He's getting his teammates involved. He's setting hard screens. Steph Curry's running more than maybe anyone in the NBA. He's maybe one of the best offensive players we've ever seen.
Right.
Doing the dirty work. Dirty work isn't. You're not too good to do dirty work. Like,
and see, Mars, and that right there is what I mean when I think about guys like Damian Lillard, and I think about guys like Paul George, and when you're talking about a championship level team, everybody's on the same page. What is your commitment level? How far are you willing to go? And when I hear stuff like I got to do more of the dirty work, he's not using me right, or that tells me that you aren't tapped in and you aren't on our page. And we're never going to win like that when not everybody is on the same page.
I agree.
Davion S said, "Look up what players that play for Cal has said about him recruiting them. Everybody says he doesn't promise playing time. Scal wasn't good at UK. Going there, you got to be who you claim you are."
I like that. That part I do like.
He doesn't promise playing time, but he definitely promises starting positions for people. Like that's 1000%. He definitely does, but he doesn't promise playing time. Like I'm pretty sure Rob and Reed both played more minutes than DJ Wagner, but there's a reason DJ Wagner was starting, and Scal started for like half the year because of that same reason.
I'm just a fan of coaches who are going to give you an opportunity. There's a difference between a coach selling you something and then when you get there, it's something completely different. And then a coach actually giving you an opportunity to play and giving you every opportunity, not just to start, but to play. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of these guys. And the Tribe, no, they don't. No, they do not. I played Division I basketball. I don't know if you know this, and I'm sorry, but the shit boils my blood. Ron, when I was in the 8th grade, everywhere that I played, we won. Everywhere. I don't mean some places or most places. Everywhere that I played, we won. When I was in the 8th grade, we won the county championship. I was a starter on that team. I played in high school. We were the number 2 team in the country. We were undefeated in the state. I was a starter on that team. I played in junior college. We were the best team in Region 3. I was first team all-league. We won. I get to play at Utah State. I can't get off the bench. I'm playing in a different position. I'm playing 2 minutes in a game. I'm playing 4 minutes in a game. I'm not getting an opportunity to actually play. So that's not true that these coaches all give you an opportunity to play. No, they don't. That's just not true. And I know plenty of guys like me, not just me. It's plenty of guys like me.
Hey, chill. I didn't been there before with you. I mean, Ox will tell you, Ox seen that year. I was on a talented team, but they had me coming off the bench, and it was like if you were just to come in and just watch, it was clear as day. Like, yo, why is this dude not playing? Now, hey, no knock to my teammates because we was dope, but I was just pretty good.
The summer going into my senior year, I was working out in the summertime, and we work out in a place in Jersey City called White Eagle Hall. And the head coach at the time at Villanova, because him and Coach Hurley were really cool. Coach Steve Lapis, he saw us working out in the gym, and he saw us playing and all of that good stuff. And Coach Hurley had told him what the situation was with me at Utah State. Coach, I didn't even know this was going on. He came up to me afterwards and said to me, I don't know what that coach out in Utah is doing, but if you plan on my team, you need to be on the floor. And by the way, this is the same coach who had Kerry Kittles at the time. He had Alvin Williams, dudes like that on the crew. And he said to me to my face, if you are on my team, you need to be on the floor. So not everybody gets the opportunity that you think that they get. Not all of them do. That's just not true.
Yeah, so there's a lot of coaches out here that do that type of stuff. That's a fact.
There's plenty of them that do.
MP13 said PG played 263 games to Kawhi's 229 games, and he played more playoff games than him. What are we talking about?
Right.
Yeah, I looked at when Domo said it. Yeah, PG did play more than Kawhi for the Clippers.
He missed the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years, Mars.
Kawhi still did more for them, though.
I think his PG played 39 playoff games to Kawhi's 28, and the regular season was 229 to 263. So overall, about 50 more games in total Paul George played.
Yo, shout out to Kai. He became a YouTube member today. Big ups to you. Appreciate you for coming through, my man. Context Clues said, thoughts on what Steph said about Klay and his future with Golden State, and what Klay said also. Damo, thoughts on Zach Edey?
Mars, Klay Thompson looked like the dude who broke up with his chick. He really didn't want to break up, but he's got to move on. And he's just like, yeah, I got a new girl now, and she's dope. She don't really seem like to be that cool. But my other girl broke up with me, and this is just what it is. That's what he looked like to me, Big Ox. He don't look like the dude that's, yo, this is my new chick. I'm so straight in being here. He looked like, yeah, she's dope. Word. I'm gonna start hanging out with her now.
The Steph Curry fans were mad at Klay because he said he should get more open shots playing next to Luka and Kyrie than he's had previously. So then obviously the Steph Curry fans are mad that he's saying that Steph didn't get him as many open shots. But I think what Steph said about he obviously wants to retire a Warrior, but the NBA is a business and anything can happen. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I think he's ever said anything that is remotely open to the possibility he doesn't retire a Warrior. So maybe things are coming to an end, but I wouldn't look too much into it personally.
Avery B said, when they announced Kawhi on the team months ago, I was confused because he was hurt then. He also looked hurt walking into the hotel last week. Shaking my head.
Probably because he was. Mm-hmm. Probably because he was. But then there's this idea that, when the season is over for the Clippers, training camp don't open till July. So I got some months to heal up, and I'll probably be ready by that time. Only except that's not the case because he's got a condition. That's the problem with Kawhi Leonard. He has a condition. This isn't a broken bone, right? This isn't a torn ligament that's going to heal. No, he has a condition that's just going to get worse as time goes on. That's what it is with him.
Him saying my man Kawhi walk like he's hurt is crazy. Damn. Tyler T said, daily reminder, Jokic better. Celtics going back to back. Hope everyone has a great day. Besides L. Lambo and James L. and Tyler T, I agree.
Oh my God.
Everybody. I hope you guys have a splendid day. You know what? I hope it's the best day of your life, except for those two. 7 gram swish said, Ox, you explained that right on the money about CBB.
College basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him giving Ox his flowers. Nice.
I'm trying to
Ox,
tell
you good, man? You look like you're sweating, brother.
You working hard right now.
Ox working right now. He in that house fighting for his life right now.
Ox, you up against
they in there wrestling, playing to unplug the Wi-Fi. Trying to tell you, bro.
Johnson is fighting for his life right now.
Tell you, hey, one of them better go one and done. Or it's gonna be some problems.
Happen. Come get these damn kids before I kill you.
Hey, I mean,
looking for his wife. Come get these damn kids.
They gonna be 6'7", 6'6" at the least. You know, like they got action.
Shit, somebody better go one and done around this motherfucker.
The Tribe One said 3-year, 4-year guys in college get to have a system around them. It's the one and dones that don't get that privilege. It's a waste of time for them.
Oh, it's one. Whoa. The one and dones don't get that privilege. They're the ones who leave. It ain't like it's not like they get pushed out. They're the ones who leave.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Do you think it's like it's detrimental the one and done to everything, like the NBA, NC2A, or is it is it fine how it is? Or should there just be no rules? Like you can go if you want to.
With you, Ox, I want to get rid of this one and done thing. Like if you're good enough to come out of high school and go to the pros, you should.
Yeah,
sure, I understand. I do understand that there's an age requirement, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Ron. I do understand that there's an age requirement, but this is dumb. To be honest with you, I really feel like this is dumb because a lot of these kids that are in school for that 1 year, like KD ain't need to go to school. He did not need to go to school.
There are going to be some guys who are going to think they're good enough, go in the draft, and they're going to end up ruining their careers for it.
Right.
But like you still have we can't make rules because the worst case scenario is going to happen to a rare few. Because every rule the worst case scenario is going to happen. Like the worst case scenario just happened for Justin Edwards this year. He was the number 1 ranked recruit coming in. He just went undrafted. He's now on a 2-way.
Didn't he average like 20 a game at Kentucky? Something nonsense like that?
No, he averaged. No, that was Antonio Reeves. He just went 47, but he was a senior.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, he was a senior. He just went 40s. Yeah, he just went 40s. He led the team in scoring. He was super efficient. But because he was a senior, he went later. But yeah, Justin Edwards was number 1 ranked recruit. If he came out of high school, last year's draft, he's probably I'll say first round pick just to be safe. I'll say first round pick, just maybe top
20.
But now he just goes undrafted, so now he's losing out on guaranteed money. He's got to fight his way into the NBA because there's a college rule. But there's also going to be guys who, if we make it straight out of high school, they're going to come straight out of high school and they're just never going to pan out in the NBA because they're not physically ready, they're not mentally ready. Like it's not going to work out both ways. And it's the same thing if you make it like NFL or college football, where it's 3 years. Like there's going to be guys who were clearly ready at 19 who now have to wait till they're 21. Maybe they get hurt as a sophomore or a junior, and that zeroes everything. So like you can't plan everything for the worst case scenario. I think once you're 18, once you're able to work, pay taxes, vote, do all of those things, I think you should be able to go to the NBA. I think that's how it should be. But it's going to be down to those players out of high school's discretion to understand if they're ready or not, and the people representing them, and not just trying to get a quick check and be like, oh, well, $8 million on the table and forget about your development completely. So you got to have good people around you. But that's in all cases.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Ox kind of alluded to it earlier, too. I mean, these teams got millions of scouts. They, like, if you think that this guy, if you want to waste one of your picks, and I don't want to say waste, if you want to use one of your picks or assets to get a guy,
you can waste it. By all means. That could be wasted, Ron. There's a guy who got picked in the second round and the 54th pick. He's never coming to the NBA. That's a wasted pick.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, that happens all the time.
You can definitely waste a pick. 100% you can.
Yeah, so it's like if teams want to do that, I mean, that should be up to you. If you want to draft a 16-year-old, that should be up to you. I personally think college helps kids, but at the same time, like we've seen people be successful and we've seen people flop. But who's to say that just because who was the guy that wasn't successful coming out of high school? Robert Swift. Who's to say that if Robert Swift would have went to Duke University, who's to say that if Robert Swift would have went to Duke University and even played 2 years, that he would have came to the NBA and been successful?
That's a Sonics legend right there.
The Tribe One. I read that super chat. Makai White said if Jaylen Brown can get $300 million, why can't BI get $200?
Because Jaylen Brown signed his deal before the CBA. It was different. Like the money is different. Yeah.
Rules. If he would have signed that deal after the CBA,
Jaylen Brown wouldn't have made $300 million if he was getting that contract this year. No disrespect to Jaylen Brown, but Boston aren't doing it.
Shout out JB, he winning.
100% he is.
I just don't. That's why. And I was talking about this last night. That's why I just wish they would stop telling people how much these NBA players make. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of your business.
Hey, Ox, it really ain't, yo. While we thinking about it, like, why you worried about my bread, Joe? Do your thing. It really ain't none of your business what kind of bread I'm making, yo. It really ain't.
Adam West said, I'm going to start a basketball league where all the players are blindfolded, even the coaches, cheerleaders, and towel boy. Fire.
Okay, Adam West. That's what's up.
That's a great.
He gonna call. You know what he's gonna call his league, right?
No.
The franchise.
Yeah. I was gonna ask him what Steve Francis average in the league, but
Yeah,
I wanted to say 60.
It's gonna be called the franchise league or something like that.
Pasi Rala said, sorry, I've been away from the show. Is Ticket still here?
Do you see him?
He's not up here right now. Maybe he'll be here tomorrow. He wasn't here yesterday. He wasn't here the day before that, but maybe he'll be here tomorrow. Chris Louis said, I don't care. After what they did to BG32, give me the no trade clause.
Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I spoke about that a little bit. Yeah, Paul George can ask for it for sure. I mean,
they had the Kawhi come in and they were singing to him. They showed how they was going to retire his jersey. He got traded. Oh my God.
But teams do guys wrong all the time. I mean, Boston and Isaiah Thomas is like the most obvious one. Like
that was the worst, Mars, to be honest with
so.
you. That might in recent memory, that was probably the worst for me. Y'all knew that dude wasn't ready to be out there. He shouldn't even been playing in the playoffs, but
and he never got his payday because of it. So like yeah. So these teams don't owe loyalty. They don't show loyalty to guys.
I don't know if you know this, Mars, but Danny Ainge did offer him a $150 million deal. He turned it down. He thought that he should have gotten more. He did.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, the way he was playing, he would have gotten more. Just like, once again, worst case scenario happens. He gets hurt. They end up moving him, and he's never the same. And now he never gets. What was his quote? Back up the Brinks truck. That was his quote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the worst case happened to him after he rejected that 150. Similar with like Caleb Martin, who apparently turned down 65 million. Now he's just signed for 32.
Mm-hmm.
Like things just went wrong.
Dennis Schroeder.
Apparently, he said that one wasn't true, but Dennis Schroeder,
he did say that wasn't true.
Dennis Schroeder, like that, it happens. It happens. It happens.
That's the gambler betting on yourself, and that's what I'm saying though. Like, when you bring that up, Chill, about him turning down that money, that's why I just be like, yo, why are y'all acting like somebody ran a foul against him? They offered him money, he turned it down. He bet on himself, and he got hurt. That's his fault. That's your problem. Like nobody know these. It's a business, bro. And not to say that he doesn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not aware of what Isaiah Thomas understands or doesn't understand.
Right.
But it's just like, bro, nobody did you dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like it might look that way, but in the business sense, you were offered the money, you bet on yourself, your body couldn't hold up. That's between you and
he got dealt a bad hand. And like
it's really that elementary.
It is.
To be honest with you, Ox, it really is that elementary.
You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, in the chat saying that they knew his hip was bad. Well, he knew his hip was bad too. He should have took that money. If they knew his hip was bad, he knew his hip was bad. And you know, I'm not trying to be in nobody's pockets, but man, come on, gotta protect yourself at all times.
Kundril said, "Can we rank worst fan bases?"
I don't care who y'all got on this list.
Lakers and Philly are the top two. I don't care. Lakers, Philly, and Boston.
I thought that Golden State might have been at the top of that list.
We'll do this one day.
Boston's racist. Philly is just the most toxic fan base ever, and the Lakers are delusional.
Knicks are pretty bad too, yo.
Oh my God,
Kundril, sometimes it's something. We're gonna make something.
The Knicks.
I'll tell you who's worse than that. I'll tell you who's worse than that. Supersonics fans. They're worse than that.
Uh-oh.
Right, like, how are you still a Sonic fan and the franchise ain't existed for 17 years?
This dude right here.
Like, what are you a fan of?
First of all, you didn't take care of your franchise. You didn't love your franchise. Your franchise left, and now you out here crying about it.
Y'all love your franchise.
No, that's not true.
Y'all missed the playoffs for 50 years,
and we still love them. And we still love them. We got what you call unconditional.
After what the NBA did to y'all should have had a vendetta. Y'all should have came back and won a ring the next year. Instead, what y'all proceed to do?
Series more recently than the Kings.
Yeah, but how long? It's not about winning. When's the last time y'all went to the playoffs?
It's not about
Only
winning. It's not about winning. That's your opinion.
No, that's not that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like that's
but you
cool,
said that.
But we just went to the playoffs last year. When's the last time y'all went to the playoffs?
Just so you know, Mars.
Last year or the year before that?
I believe it's 66 years.
Oh, well, I guess if you count this year's last
in
year.
the last 60, it's been 66 years. The Sonics are the only. Seattle is the only team to have an NBA champion and not still had a team.
The last time Seattle won a playoff series, I'm pretty sure they beat the Kings.
Yes, in 2005, I think it was.
Yeah, like like the Kings haven't won a playoff series.
That's fine. That's fine. What I'm saying is, when is the last time they've been to the playoffs?
Talk about we beat y'all purple and black. Tito El Bandito said, in all seriousness, Kawhi not having gold is sad.
He got some gold. Believe that.
He got plenty of that, to be honest with you. Yes, he does.
Brack said, Kawhi trying to vibe in Paris. Nigga, we trying to hoop.
There's no vibes in Paris.
It stinks.
Yeah, it's
Paris is
kind of Paris disgusting.
Horrible.
Yo, I've never been to Paris.
I've never been to Paris.
Let me stop front. I've never been to Paris.
In Paris,
it might be the worst like big city in Europe. It's disgraceful in Paris.
I've heard
bucket list. For real.
Paris, and they're mad racist. But yeah,
I've heard terrible things about Paris.
So we got
there's nothing good about Paris.
I'm still gonna go check it out though. I got to.
I'll probably end up in Paris. Paris is not on the top of my list though.
It was on the bucket list.
I have like 20 other cities I'd rather go to than Paris.
You can go to the Eiffel Tower. Don't take it off the list. Walk 5 minutes and you're just
keep it up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe keep it up there because it's definitely on the bucket list.
Don't take it off the list. You know, Mars hates every city.
No. Paris is worse than Seattle. So I'm saying something.
Obviously.
The food better, but Paris is worse than Seattle.
It might stink, but I'm going. I'm pulling.
I've seen like pictures on TV of Paris. It looks disgusting, but it's
horrible. They trick you with the little Eiffel Tower bit that looks Eiffel Tower cool.
And what's the museum right there, bro?
It's just rats and trash and everything. Homeless people everywhere. Paris is oh my god!
The farmers was just like throwing shit and manure all over the place because they was trying to do some laws. Like that's one thing about Paris though. They don't play when it's time to protest. They protest. They not playing around.
We'll burn this bitch down.
Facts.
What else if you want?
They not
what else
playing.
if you want? We will burn.
I like that about Paris. They don't play. They do not play.
Yeah, Skip Payless said Kawhi replacement Jaylen Brown. Get him in there.
Well, it's Derek White. It's Derek White, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
It is for sure Derek White?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And Jaylen Brown out there doing his pilgrimage for Islam.
Brown is chilling, man. He ain't interested in playing in the Olympics, man. I'm good.
Yeah, he in Mecca right now, so
I'm good.
He not available.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
y'all go do that. Go ahead. And
hey, speaking of trash though, real quick, I just wanted to ask. So New York City just finally got garbage cans just this week.
New York is, and by the way, Mars, just so you know, as bad as Paris.
Bro, did you see that?
Yeah, for everything I've heard about New York, I just would call it the Paris of the United States.
Everywhere, Mars.
That's what I would call it. Everything I've heard about New York is just the Paris of the United States.
That's it.
Yo, chill. I watched the video of the mayor rolling down the dumpster bin down, taking the plastic bag and showing people how to put it inside. Like, are you barbarians? You don't know how to put trash in a dumpster? Oh my god!
Just so you know, Mars.
Crazy. It's nasty. Just big bags of trash all over the sidewalk, and it's mountains of trash and rats all over the place.
So it's just trash, rats, and piss.
Just it's piss everywhere in New York City.
Damn, it smells like R. Kelly.
Just pissy.
It's piss everywhere.
Reggie Red said, "Can we get Bronny in Kawhi's place, please?"
No, we can't.
Don't let Dion find out there's a spot open.
I wanted them to give the spot to Cooper Flag just for like.
That would be dope.
That would be dope, to be honest.
That's what I wanted them to do, but Derek White's cool.
You know what I was saying the other day though? Honestly, I think that like since it's the Olympics and where represent America, I think they should reserve two spots. They should reserve 2 spots for regular Joes. You know what I'm saying? They should have a trial and everything, and let old washed up athletes like myself come try out for him 2 spots. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not?
Damn, you ran
I
run off.
think
You
that would
ran
be
run
fire.
off.
Ron would be at that tryout too. So I don't know why he left. Because I'll pull up. But I'm just saying
He was getting ready to go to the tryout. The moment you said that,
yeah. When for a second, I thought that this was actually a real thing.
Yeah, he ran to
I
the
think
tryout.
that's
He's
a good
ready.
idea, bro. Honestly, I think that's a good idea. They put 10 pros and then leave 2 spots for 2 Joes and just do a tryout. A reason tryouts put all together, man. Really represent the regular people of America. You know what I'm saying? I think they should do that all the time. That's fire. I think so.
Mavs Luka Kyrie said, "Why does Kyrie get disrespected again? Kyrie over Derek White."
I think it's about they want more defense on the team. I think that's really what it is. It's nothing against. It's not saying Derek White's better than Kyrie or anything. Just they want more defense on the team.
Well, I mean, when you break it down, Derek White did literally just save Jason Tatum's ass these whole last playoffs. So maybe he'll be able to save Jason Tatum's ass again throughout the Olympics. He might be able to save LeBron, KD, AD, Embiid. He's not going to save Hallie. But you know what I'm saying, though. Y'all get what I'm getting at.
Super chest, Ron.
Tito El Bandito said, "Ain't no one trying to see Harden in big 2025."
I'm boycotting the Clippers, so I ain't trying to see none from them anyway.
Tito El Bandito.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
Tito El Bandito also said, "Didn't Fluent say Kawhi was already done after 2019?"
He played that postseason hurt. He just got through it. So yeah, he been done.
Cultured Saunders said, "Dub Paris slander."
It's not slander if it's true.
Last but not least, King G Dragon said, "Mars is wildin'. The Louvre alone makes Paris better."
It's the museum with the Mona Lisa on that.
The Louvre.
You know, like that movie, the movie in the book. What's that one? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The one.
Le Miserable.
What they were looking for the Holy Grail. You know, they made
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Chill, Mars.
Oh.
Never mind. Oh, the Da Vinci Code.
Ah, close. Okay.
All right, y'all. We about to get up out of here. Also, too, I just do want to say the Mona Lisa might be the most overhyped painting of all time. Yeah, I mean,
overrated. Overrated.
Mona was high, but I know a lot better looking Monas and a lot better looking Lisas.
I know some too, and they in Sacramento.
Shout out to Lisa from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure to scan this QR code. Sign up for your PCL spot. Make sure to check out www.playerschoicemerch.com and make sure to like the video on the way out. We'll catch y'all later.
Merry Christmas.
Mona Lisa.